Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 4 of Scarlet Hollow Hardcore Mode. This is unfortunately the last episode that is out, so like my first run through, after this episode we're gonna have to hang back and just wait for episode 5 to come out, which I don't think it will be this year. If it is this year, it'll probably be like December. And honestly, I don't think it's gonna come out. Just because the dev team is working on Slay the Princess stuff. And like, they said this upcoming episode is gonna be a lot longer than the other ones. So it would not surprise me if we didn't get episode 5 this year. And that's totally fine. Like, I'd rather people take their time and put their passion and effort into their work. Like, I'd rather have that than have them rush something, you know? I feel like that's something a lot of game devs fall into now, is the rush to push stuff out. And it's like, don't do that. Take your time. Like, take your time, and it will be great. But yeah, let's jump in. Let's see how many people I accidentally get killed today. Let's see, we're at 9. Yes, do you want to see a recap? No, because you can just watch the video that's on YouTube. Wouldn't that be funny if I wasn't recording? You open your eyes, it's a new day. Last night seemed so far away. You can almost pretend the horrors you witnessed in the annex were nothing but a nightmare, chased away by the harsh morning light. Oh shit! I just remembered what happened last episode. Oh god, there's like so many things that were different in last episode, so now it's like, what am I gonna learn in this episode? I feel like I'm learning so much more in this run through than my first run through. But like, I think it's because I have like the mystical, sorry. The mystical trait, and that is so helpful. It is crazy. An involuntary shudder runs down your spine, but your thoughts are interrupted by the buzz of your phone on the nightstand. Hey, hope you're feeling okay. Tabitha too. Still trying to wrap my head around what she did last night. I haven't been able to get a hold of Stella today. How about you? I just woke up. You check your messages. There's nothing from Stella. Let's, we can call her. I don't think I did that before. Even though I romanced her in my first run through. Hey, what's up? Just kidding. Oh, Jesus, goddamn you, Stella. I was like, oh, this is new. And it's like, God, no. This was like a big thing back in the day. Like, you act like you're on the phone, but it's really your voicemail. Just kidding. I'm not able to come to the phone right now. This is actually a recording of my voice. It isn't really me. Technology, huh? Anyways, leave a message, or don't. I never check this thing. Girl, same. If you don't leave me a message, I'm not gonna call you back. And even then, it's iffy. The mailbox is full and can't accept messages at this time. Girl, clean your mailbox. Like, I swear. Girl, it doesn't... I'm pretty sure everyone has a smartphone. So you can just, like, swipe and delete those messages. I haven't heard from her either. That's not good. I think we should try looking for her. Let's meet up in town. Looks like you have your morning plans in order. First we're gonna visit Destine! Oh, they have 2 sandwiches. You open the drawers. They both have bread now. Lumina's back! Maybe change mind about eating us. Will be the end of Destine and Destine Mom. I would never eat you. I love you. Destine Mom know better to trust. When push come to shove, survival more important than friendship. I wonder if this is foreshadowing. Because this game is very heavy with the symbols and foreshadowing. Destine Mom spend too much time outside. It's different inside. There's enough bread for everyone here. No need eat friends. Dustin still have childhood innocence. Hope Dustin keep that innocence forever. Sorry. Tried to reclaim Glass House last night, but asshole squatter too big and too strong. Dustin mom stand no chance. It is 100% Wayne. That mother effer is in art. I'm gonna get you guys your house back, even though I'm trying to romance that MFer. I don't know if I even can romance him because, oh my god, it looks like Dustin's mom has pants on. Anyways, so I don't even know if I can have a run through of romancing Wayne and also being friends with Tabitha, because that's clashing. Also, I can never talk to him because Tabitha's always with me. We have to live in Dustin house forever. Human big and strong too. Probably more big and strong than asshole squatter. Maybe in my first run through I could take on Wayne, but this run through, I'm tiny. You fight? Give Dustin mom Glass House back? Anything for you, Dustin. Squatter have sharp things on head. Wrong voice. Squatter have sharp things on head. Human be careful, but Dustin mom would be internally grateful to human. Sharp things on head. Sharp things on head. I don't think... Like, when Wayne has his, like, little plastic bag on, it's, like, flat. It's not sharp. Sharp things on head. Dustin, too. I should get going. Okay. That's that. Sharp things on head. I don't even... Is it someone we haven't met yet? Like, I don't understand. Hang on, let's check the closet. I didn't have this in my run through. And I wonder if it's because I didn't give up some of my life to Charlie. But this run through, technically I didn't give up my life, but you know, Tabitha did. Something happened here. You make your way to the closet. There's no denying it. The doll moved at some point since your most recent visit. But your long-dead relative's creepy doll isn't the only thing that's different. Someone was in here. Wait a minute. Wait. Oh my god. You know how Wayne, like, leaves that, like, nasty stuff? Now that I'm thinking about it, he, like, leaves that nasty stuff behind. I think Wayne was in here. Holy fucking shit. I was right. Keen Eye just confirms it's Wayne. And judging by the residue that was left behind, you're pretty sure you know the culprit. That means he was in your room. But was he there while you were out the previous day? Or did he enter while you slept unaware just a few feet away? So, like, he did enter the annex one time last night. And I don't think he's that fast to run all the way to the mansion. Unless he's like Edward Cullen and he can like go fast, but I think he did it when we were sleeping. And if he's the squatter in the glass house, he's pretty... Oh my god. Something to mull over for the rest of the day. But it's not. He was looking for something. Why don't we look into that? I would be... God. You might as well take a shower before starting your day. I swear to God. Don't be in here, Wayne. I don't see him. You step into the guest bathroom and into the shower. It feels good to wash away the grime of last night's haunting, but eventually, you'll have to leave this place and confront the rest of the day. In the meantime, you... Oh, what do we have? Hang on. Think about Wayne and whether you're ever truly alone. I don't think we are. Think about Sybil's warning. Duke. Girls trapped in mines. Stella running off. Afterlife. Think about your cousin and the burdens, both physical and metaphysical, she took upon herself. Ugh. Let's do the Wayne thing. You think about Wayne and whether you're ever truly alone. Because I don't think we are alone. Just judging by what was in our closet. You turn off the faucet and dry yourself. Head downstairs. It's time to face your cousin. In the light of day, she looks even more physically worn than she did last night. Her blonde hair is streaked with white and fresh creases line her features, accentuating her frown. They're striking. Sorry. Sorry. They're striking. This week of all weeks. As if I didn't have enough on my plate already. Your cousin's posture is unsurprisingly much tenser than usual. It's possible the strike is even worse than she thought it would be. It probably won't be long before she bolts out of here. Does it even matter how the strike plays out? Any resolution would merely treat the symptoms of the disease rotting the heart of Scarlet Hollow. For things to stand any chance of getting better, there's something deeper you still have to fully uncover. Let's talk about Stella. Because I would like her and Stella to get back together. Have you heard anything from Stella? I can't get a hold of her. No, but that's not exactly newsworthy. I'm sure she's just processing what happened last night. We weren't the only ones who were traumatized. The strike is just a symptom of the rot in this place, Tabitha. If we don't treat the underlying disease, it won't even matter who wins. Okay, yes, I know that we saw a literal ghost last night, but this is important, Bacon. This isn't just about me. This town relies on the mind. Look, it's not doing well. I wish I could pay people more, and I wish I could give them more time off. I just need some more time to pull things out of the fire. I don't want to be the bad guy here. Get that right. How are you feeling about this strike? You can be honest with me. Conflicted. It's going to be tough, and despite what a lot of people would have you believe, I'm not relishing the opportunity to pick a fight with my own men. I don't think many people take pleasure in breaking strikes. Berlan would have, but that's not me. I don't know. It's complicated. Everything is so complicated. Do you know what the strikers even want? I haven't seen a list of demands. I'm sure it's just the usual. I promise you that if any one of them were in my shoes for a month, they'd be singing a different tune. If the mine's in trouble, you should just sell it, and sell the estate. Get out while you still can. Tabitha bristles. I'm not giving up like that. This is the Scarlet Mine. I'm not just going to cash out on our family's legacy. I'm bringing the mine back to life, one way or another. You should have let me take that burden for you. No. As much as I hate to admit it, Sybil was right. It was only fair for me to be the one to bear that cross. It's done anyways. Rehashing what happened last night won't ease your guilt, and it won't make me any younger. I hope other people in town finally start treating you better. They've already made up their minds about me. It doesn't matter what other people think, though. They don't know me. So, ghosts are real. Still can't get over that. I can. What does that actually change about anything? I was going to die young anyways, and I still have a mind to run. See, right there. Something is going on. I hope we pick up on this with, like, keen eye or mystical. How are you holding up? You look... Drop it, bacon. You probably should get going, right? Yeah. I've dwalled it long enough. Stay safe. No more hijinks. Girl, this is a 7-episode game. We're in episode 4. I got more hijinks to do. But let me know if you get into any trouble. See, I feel like this is the line where I was like in my first run through, I'm like, oh my god, I need to be nicer to Tabitha. Let me call her if trouble happens. Tabitha slips past you, her heavy boots thudding down the hall as she marches away to face her employees. What are her employees gonna say? Like, she's gonna look different. Time to figure out the rest of your day. Fru fru? Walk over to the cat. Oh, c'est toi? C'est ce que tu veux maintenant? Bro, I can't speak. Nod! You nod respectfully to Frou Frou. She scoffs, her tail twitching with annoyance. But you can sense she's less annoyed than she usually is. Maybe she's getting used to you. I want to talk about the possums, but what if Frou Frou kills them? But I have to, just to see, maybe she's friends with them. Thanks for not attacking the possums that live in my drawer. They're my friends, and if anything bad ever happened to them, there'd be hell to pay. Of course you would consider those rats to be your friends. I will not dirty my claws with their diseased flesh. Oh, damn, Frou Frou. I missed you last night, Frou Frou. That makes one of us. Do you know anything about the stone carvings scattered around town? I am not here to be your comment dicton, chez detective. Je suis un chatte. I am here to watch you flail about in the darkness. I am not here to provide answers to whatever mysteries confine your feeble American mind. What if Frou Frou saw Wayne enter the house? Like, why can't I ask her, like, hey, did you see a man enter the house? I just remembered I am a man in this run-through. Okay, a bigger man. Did you see a bigger man enter the house? Will you ever let me pet you? And cut my foot in your disgusting human oils? None. Bye, Frou Frou. Good talk. She scoffs as you turn away. Let's look into the garden. Whatever kicked out Dustin's mom is in the garden right now. You better look into it before you head into town. And making sure Wayne's not there. The air is chillier today, the overcast sky hanging oppressively over the weed-soaked flower beds. You start carefully picking your way through the underbrush. This is all new. I'm excited. It doesn't take much effort to find a path. Cuttings of prickly raspberry bushes and tangled vine litter the ground around the greenhouse. The glass house, one could say. You step towards the door. That's a goat. The sharp things on the head, that's a goat. It's sealed shut by a lock, and you catch a brief glimpse of a horned shadow through the ancient, clouded glass. It was a goat. Oh, girl, I know. This is Dustin's mom's squatter. Meet Dustin's true enemy is the achievement I got. What are you doing in the greenhouse? Human put me here. Can't complain. Pretty sweet digs, honestly. Stays nice and warm, and there's plenty of eat, too. What's your name, little guy? Goat. Did the human have a brown coat and big boots? Coat, like fur? No. Not brown fur. Yellow fur. Just on the top, like all you humans. Don't know what boots are. Can't help. A blonde. Tabitha's blonde, but why would she put a goat in there? Where did you come from? Farm. Used to live with the other guys like me. Kinda miss him. But not that much. Don't gotta share anymore. You examine the lock. It looks sturdy. You'll need some tools if you're going to get this open. Maybe Stella or Kanika could lend a hand later. I guess I'll leave you to it then. See ya. Or not. Wild world out there. You've investigated the garden. With Stella missing, it's best not to keep Kanika waiting for much longer. So, I'm gonna have to bring Stella or Kanika back to open the door to get the goat out. Huh. Get a PB&J? If Stella's MIA, who knows when you'll get the chance to eat. Make yourself a PB&J in anticipation for the long day ahead of you. And that's that. Time to head to town. Bye, Frou-Frou. You head to the front door and begin your trek to town below. I don't see Wayne among the little freaks in the woods. The sun shines down through a thin layer of clouds, illuminating the path in a watery gray light. Glimpses of pale figures dot your periphery, sorry. You haven't seen ditchlings in the middle of the day before. They're getting bolder. God, you scared me, Avery. To your surprise, you find a familiar face making its way up the path towards you. Hey, I was just coming up to see you. Hope you were able to get some sleep after everything that happened last night. I hope Tabitha got some rest too. How is she today? Let's see. Let's do mystical. It's like a tiny part of her soul's been ripped from her body. She's acting like it's not a big deal, but I don't know if a person can go through something like that without it permanently changing them. And yet you were ready to jump in and take the bullet for yourself, weren't you? And who knows? Maybe she'll get better. Who's to say how long ghost magic lasts? Maybe she just needs a little rest and relaxation. So, not a great time for her to be dealing with a big strike, but I guess there's no helping that. Workers gotta do their thing. Can't just wait until it's good for their boss. This is new. I don't think I was able to select this because I didn't have mystical. How do you feel now that it's a new day? Possession is the sort of thing that can leave a mark on a person's soul. Aw, thanks for asking about the state of my soul. I appreciate that. I'd be lying if I said it didn't have an impact. I kind of feel bruised all over, physically and spiritually. But hey, that's part of life, right? Nobody makes it to the end completely unscathed. Or if that's another foreshadowing thing. And I'm kind of thrilled that my new emotional baggage comes from a ghost instead of a boring normal trauma. I don't know, I think both trauma is bad. Have you heard anything from Stella? I haven't heard from her. But we don't text much, and I haven't checked in with Winnie to see if she came in for an early breakfast or anything. But if you haven't heard from her, that doesn't sound so great. Seeing her like that last night was awful. She's usually so unflappable. Kanika and I are meeting up to look for Stella. Wanna come? Absolutely. I told Winnie I'd be coming in late today, so I've got time. How are you doing today after last night? I'm great. With something like possession, I kind of feel like there are more upsides than downsides. There aren't a lot of people out there who can just say they've been through something like that. It's a pretty cool badge of honor, as far as I'm concerned. Ditchlings everywhere, even in the daytime. Avery turns to survey the tree line. I noticed a few on my way up. They're kind of funny, now that I'm getting a good look at them, with their scrunched up little Sharpay faces. These guys, the ditchlings, they could absolutely be unsmiling friends. So should I be worried about these things? I know they're a bad omen or something, but, like, are they dangerous? As long as you don't have a gun and you shoot them, you should be okay. They're not gonna eat me if I take a wrong turn, right? You need only fear what they foretold. Okay, cool. And ominous. As long as being eaten alive isn't on the table. Unless they're foretelling a zombie invasion or something with werewolves, in which case, I guess I'm still stuck with being eaten alive. Let's head to town. Yeah, good idea. You and Avery start back down the path to town. It isn't long until you once again find yourself on the main street of Scarlet Hollow. Bacon, you made it, and you picked up Avery along the way. Hope you're both doing okay, like, emotionally. Yeah, I'm not too bad. That's good. I feel like I got crushed by a steamroller or something. Joints all out of whack. Totally exhausted and super foggy. Mom has been insisting I caught a cold, and I wasn't buying it, but as of this morning, I've come around. It's definitely something beyond exhaustion, even considering that ridiculously stressful week we've had. But I'm not gonna let that stop me from looking for Stella. Ooh, there's Kenai right there. I think last night just pushed her over the edge. I know I've only known her a couple of days, but it feels like she has a tendency to run away from difficult emotions. Usually she just changes the subject, but I guess this time she wound up literally running. You're absolutely right. And as her friends, we can't let her be alone at a time like this. I've made that mistake before. Oh? I wonder, because I think Kanika was already at college when Stella's parents passed, I think. Maybe. Let's see if she expands. Plus, she could get mobbed by those weird little creatures, or worse. Exactly. This is no time for anyone to be off on their own. Who knows what kind of weird stuff is out there. After the past couple of nights, I wouldn't be surprised if there were actual Bigfoots in the woods, just waiting to eat any human who wanders too far from civilization. If it's a Red Dead Bigfoot, they're like vegetarians. They just eat like berries. But this is a horror game, so they are absolutely not vegetarians. Do Bigfoots thirst for human flesh? Is that some kind of common knowledge I wasn't keyed in on? I wouldn't be surprised, is all I'm saying. Okay, let's get started. I don't want to waste another minute. Where to first? Let's go to Stella's house. We'll just go down the list. And one of them I actually skipped out on in my first run through, So let's see if we get more information. Okay, let's go to Stella's house. Good place to start. Maybe she just slept in. That's what I'm hoping. I would have gone already, but, I was kind of nervous about doing anything by myself today. Just in case I ran into yet another horror from beyond the veil or whatever. Make your way towards Stella's house. The door is as pristine as any old wooden door. No bloody handprints in sight, any telltale sign of Wayne absent. Something happened here. It didn't involve him. At least not the front door. Kanika knocks anxiously on the door. It creaks open. The interior is cold, and not just physically. There's an absence of joy in life that leaves only a chill behind. The ghost of an empty house and the sobering dread that comes with the knowledge that your search won't end here. This house is quiet. The world outside muffled as you take a curious step over the threshold into the muted air of the living room. No excitable pug rushes to greet you at the door, and you have a feeling that no Stella is going to emerge from the shadows to sleepily greet you. I don't sense anything supernatural here. Well, I don't like the looks of this. Might as well invite ourselves in, right? Yeah, we should go in. Cool, I'll be brave and go first. What is that? Avery casually steps over the threshold into Stella's house. Aside from a corner of the room dedicated to Gretchen, Stella's house almost feels like a museum. Everything's organized with a sort of tidiness you wouldn't expect from someone as rough and tumble as Stella, and only a handful of objects feel like they belong to her. Whatever happened to Stella, it doesn't look like it happened here. Doesn't look like there was a struggle or anything, unless it happened in another room, or maybe someone or something caught her off guard. You didn't have to add that last part. I'm gonna forget you said that and just be thankful that it doesn't look like a crime scene. Stella's kitchen is slightly messy. A couple cabinets are hanging open, and a loaf of bread sits on the counter by a used butter knife. The crust of the bread has gone somewhat stale, about as much as you would expect after being left out overnight. Whoever left it there left it many hours ago. It's a little messy, but it doesn't look like anything violent happened here. It's possible she came home, grabbed some food, and left in a hurry, right? Did she have somewhere she needed to be? She didn't say she had something she had to rush off to. Maybe she just had a panic attack after dust. But that was over 12 hours ago. I'd hope she would home by now if that was the case. Cats are trying to meow because it sounds like a human is trying to get in this room. Is Stella the sort of person to stop back home to make a snack in the middle of a mental health crisis? Yes. And it's comforting to think that might just all be it. A panic attack is much more manageable than rotting ghouls or parasitic doughboys. Okay. You make your way down the hall to what you assume to be Stella's room. She's not here. Though it's a little untidy, it's the usual sort of untidiness that accumulates when someone doesn't often have guests in their bedroom. There aren't any signs of violence. No streaks of blood and pus that might belong to a certain phantom miner. He hasn't been here. You do notice, though, that her jacket is nowhere in sight. It isn't in her closet, and it wasn't on the coat rack in the other room. Stella's jacket's gone. The Litterman one. It wasn't on the rack in the other room, and it's not in here. And she didn't have it yesterday. Okay, I'm sold. Between this and the kitchen, she must have come home last night. And it seems like she was the one who decided to leave. No struggle or anything. Let's check her computer. I'm not sure we should be snooping on her computer. Isn't that an invasion of privacy? We already broke into her house, right? For all we know, there could be some sort of clue on there, like a note detailing exactly where she is. We didn't break into her house. The door was left wide open.
Well, maybe the computer was left open too.
Exactly. If there isn't a password, maybe we're supposed to take a peek. Maybe we'll find the first note in an elaborate scavenger hunt she set up overnight. Sure, snoop away, but I'm not going to take any part in this. I'll just be over here, standing in the corner of the room, not looking over your shoulder. Let me know if you find anything. Stella's desktop is horrifically cluttered. There are simply too many files and folders to fit on her monitor. They overlap each other in a chaotic, multi-layered display. She needs to get a second, monitor. Whoa, how do we find anything on here? You don't. Come on, let's go. Open tabs. It would take you all day to count the number of open tabs in Stella's browser. So numerous are her tabs that you can't see a single icon. A sea of round, featureless triangles from Windows Edge to Windows Edge. Yeah, right up there. Girl, you gotta get rid of some of those. Her most recently opened tab is a post on Uncle Carl's Bigfoot Farm, a forum for cryptozoology enthusiasts. The post in question is titled, "Something Big is Happening in Scarlet Hollow." Hey everyone, was out chasing a skunk ape sighting the other day and I found these weird little guys. My friend's mom says there's something called ditchlings, but I've never heard of them before. Anyone have any good leads? Camera isn't shaky enough. This is totally staged. Clean footage and some sort of cryptid nobody has heard of except for your friend's mom. The only thing I'm seeing when I Google ditchlings is some city in England. Thought you were legit. Guys, since when did high quality footage count as anything other than actual evidence? Those things are terrifying. Since every low budget horror movie started doing guerrilla marketing, I smell an ARG. I don't know. I'm serious. I've got a ton of extra footage. Look at this nest. They've been doing something to the animals in town, and they're apparently some sort of bad omen, like Mothman. Okay, I'm listening. I love me a Mothman. I can tell, Moth Stan. I believe you. Ugh. Lucky, you're falling right into her lap. I don't trust YouTubers. They're entertainers, not scientists. The thread continues into the next day. Hey, okay, so 1, this isn't an RNG. I would never. And 2, you're not gonna believe this, but we went to an abandoned mine last night to investigate things, and I'm pretty sure we found some Tommy knockers. Listen to these knockings we managed to catch on tape. There's a link to an audio file titled Tommy Knockers Real Wave. Just because you put the word real in your file name doesn't mean they're real. 2 supernatural events on back-to-back nights? This is so fake. I can't believe I bought into the River Runner hype. You're so full of it. YouTubers are always going to sell out to big indie horror. This is Kidnapped by Aliens all over again. Also, lol, doughy white things and now loud popping noises. This is definitely an ARG. Did you sell out to Pillsbury? What the fuck is ARG? I need to look that up. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, so ARG is alternate reality game. Okay, I didn't realize I had a abbreviation, but hey. Stop cyberbullying her or I'm gonna call the mods. Blocking this thread and giving everyone a 7-day ban. No cyberbullying and no self-promo. The thread ends. Oh, poor Stella. Remind me to never be internet famous. Here's hoping my SoundCloud stays niche and underappreciated until the day I die. You check Stella's search history. She hasn't visited any website since Tuesday night. If she came home after last night's incident, she didn't touch her browser. Her search history is almost entirely work-related. A furious series of queries for various monsters and cryptids that might fit into the profile of Ditchling. That's that. Okay, I think we've seen enough. Thank God. I love seeing someone's room before they've had a chance to clean it up for company. It's like a nice little neat snapshot, you know? Speak for yourself. If the roles were reversed and I was missing and you and Stella were poking around in my room unannounced, I'd be completely mortified. Spoken like someone with a whole lot of secrets. My room is immaculate. A guest could drop by unannounced at 2 a.m. and I wouldn't sweat a thing. Congratulations on having your shit together. Thank you. I come by it on it. I will say that this is what her room's been like for pretty much the entire time I've known her. The only thing that's changed is the computer getting a lot fancier. It could use a few more houseplants. I'll put together some trimmings after we've found her. Aw, she still does those corkboard with string things. She loves putting the strings on there. I don't think they actually mean anything, but they're more for decoration. Anyways. Okay, I don't think we're gonna find much else here. Let's move on. Okay, so she probably came home last night, but she's not here now. We don't have any idea where she might have gone. I thought I was overreacting this morning. I hope she would just be sleeping in. I can't believe she's actually missing. We'll find her. Where to next? Let's do Oscar. This is gonna be different. We should check in on Oscar. He's smart. Maybe he'll know what to do. I hope nothing else happened after we all went home last night. They're so brave for sleeping in that house after everything we went through. I'd rather sleep in the woods with the ditchlings than someplace that was that haunted. Well, Charlie's gone now, so it's fine. Your mom said it's safe, and I'm inclined to believe her. Why would she lie? But how would she know that? Magic, probably. But there's only one way to find out. Let's go. Ooh, library card. Morning light streams in through the library's large windows. In the bright daylight, it's once again a place of comfort, all menace having fled in the wake of Charles Shaw Jr.'s departure. No ghosts. Thank God. I was not up for an encore. Yeah, it's gone. Just like your mom said it would be. You can't help but overhear the murmurings of an intense conversation coming from the mayor's office. Or rather, the murmurings of an intense animal conversation. Start making your way up the stairs towards the mayor's office. Hey, where are you going? The dogs who... Scraps Gang! Yeah, it's Scraps Gang. A small gang of dogs holds court in Mayor's office. Most of the dogs quietly watch from the sidelines, but two of them, a sheepdog and a basset hound, are in a heated conversation with Mayor Jimmy. Their tags read Scraps and Daisy. I'm trying to think what my basset hound's name was. It's been many years. I'm a little embarrassed to say how many years, but I want to say her name was Belle, but at the same time I'm like, Daisy kind of sounds right.
And little Pixel.
Pixel sits on a shelf nearby, wearily keeping an ear to the conversation. It sounds like you've got this all sorted out. I don't see what you need me to do about any of it. Sorted? These things ain't sorted until this town is safe. Now, we may have got the beginnings of a militia together, but there's plenty of pets out there who are still ill-informed about those things crawling out of the woods. You're the mayor. They'll listen to ya. Just tell them to stay inside until it's handled. Listen, Scraps, buddy, I hear you. But the last thing we need right now is anarchy in the streets. This exactly sounds like the mayor from Jaws. It's no use. I told you he'd be bullheaded. He's always bullheaded. Always the sore loser, aren't we, Daisy? Things are fine. Nobody has to worry about a thing. The mayor pulls himself away from the conversation to acknowledge you. Oh, I remember you. You're that out-of-towner from yesterday. The speaker. The other dogs murmur amongst themselves for a moment, then turn to face you. I'm sorry you had to see this little display. Politics can get messy. Have any of you seen or smelled Gretchen? She and her person are missing. Is she missing? Oh dear. Scraps, you don't think... Gretchen's person would never let anything happen to her. Wherever she is, I'm sure she's safe from those things. A dog like her doesn't get to be that age without a watchful human at her side. Even if she's safe, I don't like the sound of this. See, Jimmy, this is the cost of inaction. Gretchen is a pillar of our community and she's missing. What will it take for you to finally open your eyes and do something? If you wait until you're the last dog left in Scarlet Hollow, it'll be far too late to save yourself. Yes, I get it. You're all very upset. But what do you expect me to do about it? Shut down the town? What about the economy? This is like word for word the mayor from Jaws. Do you even know what economy is, Jimmy? Or are you just throwing around fancy words you've heard the humans say? Of course I know what economy is. I know all about economyism. Oh good, because I never understood a lick of it when humans talk about economy. I just figured it was just some made-up word they yell at each other when they want to stop talking. So please, enlighten us. I'm not going to debase myself by playing a game of trivia. Not in front of the speaker. Thought so. To answer your question, we did catch a whiff right around here, and another near her house. I haven't picked up anything around town since then. So this scene actually replaces the alley scene. Okay. That's good to hear. And it kind of makes sense because we had to pick up Pixel and then we went to Oscar's new house. Okay. Let's hope those creatures haven't already gotten to her. Can you help us find her? You've got better noses for this sort of thing. We'll do our best. We didn't intend to make any more trips into the woods, but if it's for Gretchen, we'll take that risk. She's a well-liked dog in these parts. Been around longer than any of us. It'd be a blow to the community for her to fall victim to those monstrosities. So you're this Scraps I've heard so much about. The one and only. This here is Daisy, and we got a few other concerned locals with us as well. Just making sure the cats and dogs of the Hollower are well cared for considering recent events. There are more of those things in the woods every day, popping out of the innocent bodies of what used to be dogs like us. They're exaggerating, of course. While I've heard reports of creatures coming out of the woods, it's nothing the humans of this town can't handle. It's no secret that Daisy and Scraps are my competitors, and it's just like them to jump at the first sign of trouble as an opportunity to run me out of office. Nobody's trying to run you out of office. We're trying to keep the critters of the town safe. How very noble of you. But that's exactly the line you'd feed the voters if you were trying to get rid of me. Mr. Mayor, you should listen to Daisy and Scraps on this one. There won't be anarchy in the streets to worry about if every animal in town is taken by ditchlings. Your opinion is noted, but I've been mayor for over 14 years. I know what I'm doing. That's 14 dog years, Jimmy. If you're not going to help, the least you can do is not blow smoke up the speaker's ass. I suppose you were right, Daisy. This was a waste of time. But I needed to hear it with my own ears before I could really believe it. I'll save the "I told you so" for later. Let's go rally the others. This town won't save itself. You and the dogs exit the mayor's office and close the door behind you. They quickly turn a corner and vanish from your line of sight. You find Kanika and Avery waiting for you in the lobby. I took a peek in there. You just had a full-on conversation with those dogs. It is so weird when you do that. Does this sort of thing happen a lot with Bacon? Yeah, it takes some getting used to. After last night, it'd take a whole lot more than Bacon having a conversation with a gang of dogs to faze me. I guess Oscar must be in the back. I know that's where I'd be if I finally managed to unhaunt my home. I've always been surprised at how unsupervised this place is. Sometimes it feels like anyone could just walk. No! Mother. One of the worst things about new computers is that if you hover over something, it will just pop up with your local news, the local weather, and everything, and it's like, can we not do that? Like, goddamn, these new computers are just trying to dox streamers left and right. Like what, steal books? I mean, they could, right? I'm not saying anyone would. I'm just saying that people in this town trust each other. A lot. It's nice. Let's go find Oscar. Looking for Wayne. You make your way back towards the annex. It feels strange to be back here in the light of day, as if the events of the previous evening were all just a terrible dream. More accurately, it feels as if the events of the previous evening were mostly just a dream. That hideous stone carving is still buried in the basement, and though it's subtle and subdued, you can still feel the faintest of hums reaching out from it. This hallway really takes me back. It feels like it was only yesterday that we were last here, blissfully unaware that our entire lives were about to change forever. It was only yesterday. I know. Kanika knocks on the door. Oh, good morning. It's so good to see you all. Please, come on in. Oh, the unicorn painting's gone, and Pixel's thing's gone. You have no idea how good it felt to sleep in our own house last night. Though I suppose I didn't do much sleeping. I mostly sat and stared at the hatch all night. Nothing happened, but the idea that something could happen was more than enough to keep me wide awake. How's Tabitha this morning? There's a strike at the mines, so she's a little busy. Strike? That can't have been pleasant for her to wake up to, today of all days. On one hand, I feel like she had this coming, and I'm glad the workers are demanding to be treated better. But at the same time, I kinda feel bad for her. I never thought I'd say that, but it's true. What she did last night was brave, and I wonder how much of the way she's been running that place was really Perlan's doing. There may be more to Tabitha than we all thought. Exactly, Avery. Let's not get too optimistic. Hey now, Kanika. You and Tabitha are going to become best friends. I'm going to make sure of it in this run-through. So, what brings you here? Stella's been missing since last night, and we're trying to figure out if anyone's seen her. She hasn't gotten in touch with any of you? Nope, we have no clue where she's gone. That's not good. I haven't seen her since she ran off last night. I feel terrible. I should have done a better job warning her. Stella was practically banging down your door trying to get evidence of ghosts. I don't think you were gonna be able to stop her. There was no way you could have known how she would react when she found it. I don't even think she knew how she would react. And besides, you didn't know how bad it was gonna get. You can't blame yourself for everything, man. I know you probably feel like it's your responsibility to make sure everyone around you is okay, but sometimes that's not gonna be possible. You're only one guy. Now I'm really starting to worry. It sounds like no one in town has seen her. That doesn't mean something bad happened. But it doesn't exactly sound like it's all sunshine and roses for her either. Sorry that I can't be more helpful, especially after everything y'all have done for us. I know time is of the essence right now, but while you're here, I wanted to let you know that I'm determined to do whatever I can to help investigate what's happening in our town. I was hoping we could compare notes. It might help me narrow down where I should start my research. As far as I'm aware, there was nothing paranormal in Scarlet Hollow before very recently. Now here we are, suddenly surrounded by weird little goblin creatures in the woods and plagued by angry ghosts. You think there was an inciting event, right? I do. That's my thought too. It was never like this in the Hollower before. Something must have happened that kicked off all of this magic stuff. Avery stares at you. I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? Things only started happening once Bacon got here. Kanika shoots Avery a glare. No, we're not throwing Bacon under the bus. What? There's nothing wrong with it being a magical catalyst. Sure, there's probably nothing wrong with someone being a magical catalyst, but there's definitely something wrong with saying someone's a magical catalyst. If people get the wrong idea, we're only a couple of steps away from the whole town deciding to shaw him. Nobody's going to drag Bacon into a witch hunt on my watch. I like to think we've outgrown the days of running people out of towns on rails. You never know. I'd rather play it safe. Don't worry, it's not like I'm gonna run around town telling everyone that Bacon magicked a bunch of terrible diseases into existence. But if there's a catalyst for all of this, why wouldn't it be a lost Scarlet fan? A lost Scarlet finally coming home to Scarlet Hollow. If I may, Bacon, getting into town isn't the only major event that's happened recently. Perlan died over a week ago, and those creatures in the woods were already reproducing by the time he arrived. Not to mention, I started seeing things in our house before Perlan passed. I think. I never thought to make a note of exactly when the spirit made itself known. If there's a root cause for all of this, hopefully there's a way to put the genie back in its bottle. I'm gonna do my best to find out if there have ever been any similar events and whether there's something special about Scarlet Hollow that might explain what's going on. We'll fill you in on what little we know, so you have at least some place to start. Ooh-wee. There's a lot of talking in this episode. Are we sure the ghost is really gone? I have every reason to believe so. There wasn't so much as a creaking door or mysterious draft all night. And I certainly hope this isn't wishful thinking, given the toll it seemed to take on Tabitha last night. You're so brave for sleeping in here. I would have left and set the place on fire. Mind me if I were in your shoes, no matter if someone wound up putting it to rest or not. I suppose I felt like I'd done enough running. I'd seen the worst it could be, and I was willing to risk it if it meant Rosalina wouldn't spend another night sleeping on a cot in the back room of a library. We've been finding these weird stone seals. There was one in the mines and another in your basement. There might be more. These are the carvings you mentioned last night, right? To think there was something like that under my house all this time, and to think someone must have put it there, but who? 100% had to be a Scarlet. This gives me quite a few threads to follow, thank you, Bacon. You know, I was thinking about filling the basement with cement and pretending it was never part of the house, but if we're all here, maybe we should go down and... Oscar sighs. Take a closer look at the carvings. Seal, whatever it is. Oh, heck yeah. It'll be like checking out the behind the scenes of a haunted house the morning after. I mean, I know you're joking, but that's literally what we'd be doing, right? Now that you mention it, yeah. I guess that wasn't the best analogy. It's been bad enough going into haunted houses and abandoned coal mines at night, but there's something that feels so much worse about going down there in the middle of the day. I can't say I'm thrilled at the thought of it either, but we need to do whatever we can to start getting ahead of things. I really don't think this is a good idea. The spirit is gone, but you can still feel a faint hum undulating from the basement. Imminent danger may not await you down there, but the stone remains active, if at least weakened. Who knows in what strange ways it might manifest itself. The spirit is gone, but I can still feel something calling out from that place. I don't know what risk it may pose, but we shouldn't go down there. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that we should just all trust Bacon on this. Aw. No, it's a fair point. We probably shouldn't go down there until after we have a better sense of what we're dealing with. Yeah, let's not touch it. In fact, nobody should ever open that hatch or go down there again. What? Y'all don't want to put yourselves in another potentially life-threatening situation? Not if I can help it. I'm not really a hands-on kind of investigator. That's Stella's thing. That's alright, we don't all have to go. If there's any danger left down there, I shouldn't drag anyone else into the middle of it anyways. I'll brave the basement while y'all look for Stella. There's still something sinister down there. Make him listen to you. No more unheeded warnings. Oscar, if you go down there, something will happen to you. Please, can somebody finally listen to me? How many times are people going to ignore me before they finally start to pay attention? Oscar, if you're not going to trust me on this, please, at least listen to Bacon. Okay, if you're really sure about this, I can start my research on something a little less concrete. So I wonder if this... Oh, man. See, now I'm just gonna have to do so many run-throughs of this game to, like, get all the little information. Don't worry, I'll be careful. I won't touch anything unless I absolutely have to. Make sure Pixel stays inside, or he might get grabbed by the ditchlings. The ditchlings are those things from the woods, right? With those... faces? Yeah, the anguished doughboys. I kinda like them. It's like a hidden object game out there today with those weird little faces peering out of the bushes. Like them? Are we talking about the same creatures that have been laying eggs in the local wildlife? I don't want to get friendly with them or anything, I just think they're kinda neat. Each their own. Will do. I can't imagine how devastated Rosalina would be if something were to happen to him, especially after everything she's been through. I think there's something in the clinic. There was this door yesterday, and I could feel something pulling me towards it. You didn't mention anything like that yesterday. I see. I'll dig up what I can on the clinic. There's a lot of history there. I wouldn't be surprised if there's something haunting that place as well. You have a friend that lives there, right? Should we tell him that something bad might happen in his house? He might want to stay someplace else for now, if the last few nights are any indication. Yeah, I can shoot Reese a warning text, but I don't know if his mom will let him leave. She's got an iron grip on the poor dude, and she's probably even more of a skeptic than I was. One way or another, I'm going to find myself back there soon enough. Foreshadowing. It's faint, but I can still feel the pull of that clinic door, and it's only getting stronger. You're not planning on breaking in, are you? Because if so, nope. You're not going to do that. Let's not have a repeat of last night. We should be more cautious about what we do next. We don't want anyone to get attacked or possessed by any more ghosts, even if it is to help a friend. I don't know if we have time to play it safe. Just give me a day or two to do some research before you do anything rash, okay? I don't know if we talked about the cult in the first run through. I wonder if this could be the work of some cult. I don't know, I'm just throwing things out there. Let's not get all satanic panic just yet. I know it's not looking unlikely at this point, but having lived in this town my whole life, I feel like I would know if there was some cult that ran the place. Well, that's the thing about cults. They really pull you in and they really blind you. I've got to agree with Kanika on this. I feel like I'd have picked something up. A cult doesn't necessarily have to a cult doesn't necessarily have to run the town to have an impact here. It doesn't even need to be active. From what I gather, those carvings you've been talking about are old, and whoever left them here is probably long gone. I'll see what I can find. You never know. Whatever we're doing next, I feel like we're missing a vital team member. We need to find Stella and fast. I agree. We need her brazen energy if we're going to do any serious sleuthing. See you around, Oscar. Let us know what you find. I will. Wayne? So, that's Oscar. Any other ideas? Let's go to the mines. We should go to the mines. I guess there's a decent chance Stella went to find your cousin. I can't say I get it, but it's definitely something she would do. You don't see it? Oh, come on. The two of them have such a dynamic, you know? Classic dog and cat situation. Come on. I'll drive us. You follow Kanika into her van. It isn't long before you find yourself outside the Scarlet Mines. Scarlet, more like toilet! Better hours now or none at all. I'm unhappy with the treatment I am receiving as a worker in the Scarlet Mines. That was extremely hard to read. A wall of bodies, picket signs, and megaphones in hand form a human barricade around the entrance to the Scarlet Mines. I hope it's not weird to talk to them while they're in the middle of all this. Don't worry, I know these guys. Most of them are in the diner at least a couple days a week. They'll be chill. Will they be chill talking to Tabitha's cousin, though? Well, if it isn't the boss's cousin. You might have had us fooled the other day, but words get around fast. Hail and well met, fellow countrymen. What goes on here? The miners stare at you. A strike. What are your grievances? We'd like competitive pay, 8-hour shifts instead of 12 or more, improvements to sick day and vacation policies. Damn, don't we all want that? Also, change that 8 to 6. And a thorough safety inspection before any of us step foot underground again. That collapse was way too close to the active mine for me to feel safe down there until I know for sure I won't wind up buried under 2 tons of rocks. This place is supported by the labor of folks who are too desperate for work to care about the conditions they work in. It runs them ragged, then spits them out when they are too broken to keep going. I've seen it time and time again. We're going to change things. There's no reason we should be treated like we're a disposable workforce. If we're the ones making her money, we should be making money too, not just scraping by. That's a lot of grievances. Working here seems tough. Yeah. Do you think Tabitha can even make those changes without the mines going under? I'm sure she can figure it out. I'm not saying she's a bad boss. People clearly aren't happy with her, but coal's getting used less and less, and I've seen that old Scarlet house. It's practically condemned. If she has money to spare, where's it going? I really didn't peg you as someone who'd go to bat for Tabitha. I'm not. I'm just trying to get a full picture here, and if the mines fail, I don't see how Aunt Winnie's diner doesn't fail with it. Okay, but that's the whole problem. A single family shouldn't be able to hold an entire town hostage. The workers need a say in the business. Fair enough. Let's see. That's it? Look, I just need to talk to my cousin. I'd be happy to pass along your demands. I'm not sure we should be involving the boss's cousins in any negotiations. Yeah, it'd be a bad look if you want to try and push her to the table, that's one thing, but you should leave the demands to us. Any words about those kids stuck in the mine, or is it they're just like, we're gonna strike and leave those kids in. We've heard voices, so we know they're alive. Now we just have to get them out. They're alive? That's amazing! They must be so scared down there. We've got a team working in shifts to reach him as fast as we can. We may be striking, but that just means we're not making the boss any money. Not that we won't do everything we can for the kids who need us. Oh, that's so nice. Have any of you seen Stella? She's missing. The YouTuber? She's the one on all the banned from property posters, right? We haven't seen her, and we've been out here all day, so we'd know if she'd come by. We'll make sure to keep an eye out. Can't say we'll be much help, though. We'll just be standing around here for the foreseeable future. Why are the cops here? Miss Scarlet requested we supervise this situation. The mine's the source of a lot of jobs in town, and she just wanted to make sure nobody did anything hasty while expressing their concerns. That's a polite way of saying that they're here to intimidate us. A little reminder from the boss that she owns more than just coal mines. Simmer down. Nobody's here to intimidate you. The Scarlet mines are private property. Miss Scarlet has every right to request some oversight during a tense situation. There's a lot more of us than there are you. Can we visit the dig site? No way. There's a ton of dangerous equipment there, and the men working to rescue those kids don't need any more distractions. It's bad enough having parents breathing down our necks. They're making the job that much harder. They have every right to be at the dig site, but that one woman... Becca's mom? Yeah. They're being hassled enough as is. I need to talk to Tabitha. Sure, you may be the boss's cousins, but you seem harmless enough. Go ahead. I don't care if they're okay with you going in. I'm still not crossing a picket line. Besides, I don't think Tabitha would be too happy to see me. I'll just wait by the van while you go talk to her. Same. Everyone who works here is a regular at the diner. I don't want to make things weird. See you on the other side. Sorry, looking for Wayne. It's quiet today, except beyond the ruckus at the front gate, the trailer that serves as Tabitha's office looms above you on the hill. You walk up to Tabitha's trailer and knock on the door. You wait for a moment. No response. You open the door. Oh, walk in on amusing. I think I can turn at least a few of the guys, and if you fire Davis... Oh my god, have you heard of knocking? What are you even doing up here? Should I go? Yeah, and make sure no one sees you. No one else, at least. I saw nothing and I heard nothing. That's right. Sorry, I'm using the wrong voice. That's right. Let's keep it that way. Rodriguez, I said you're dismissed. Now get out of here. The door clicks closed as Rodriguez leaves Tabitha's office. Tabitha heaves a heavy sigh. Please, just forget anything you heard, okay? I really don't think you should fire Davis. He seems well liked. They'd make him a martyr, and it would strengthen the strike. You might be right. You might be right. That's my main concern, too. He's also a good employee. There's a reason he's so well liked. People listen to him. They trust him. I'll be careful about this. I'm not going to do anything hasty. I can wait to see where this is going. Alright, let's see. I'm not gonna undermine you. We're good, Tabby. Thanks. I'm glad we can have each other's backs. This whole thing is kinda new to me. Look, you didn't come here to talk about my meeting. Why are you here? Don't get me wrong. It's nice to see a friendly face. But you shouldn't be up here. This is my battle to fight. Stella is still missing. We've been looking all over town for her, and we don't have any leads. Tabitha groans with anxiety. You don't think... Wayne...
Wayne's my friend. He wouldn't hurt anyone.
There wasn't evidence that he'd been in her house or signs of a struggle or anything. How do we know she even went home last night? She ran off in the opposite direction. She did. It seems like she at least went home to grab her jacket. Stella's been known to disappear for days while doing her videos. But I think we both know that's not what's going on. Oh god, too much sparkling water. I'm getting all... I'll see if I can figure something out. Do you think they're going to be able to get those kids out alive? Don't ask me things like that. I have no way of knowing. They aren't far from the surface, so the drill should reach them soon. But no one knows what the conditions are like down there, or if they're hurt, or even if one of them is dead. I'm just doing my best I can, hoping it works out. Do you have time to hang out later? I miss you. You? Not joking? This breaks my heart. Like, it feels like Tabitha never had, like, any, like, I mean, her only family was her mom, us, and her aunt, which is our mom. That's all she knew, and then my mom, our mom, took us away from Scarlet Hollow. So the only person she knew was Pearl Ann, and clearly Pearl Ann was not a great parent. So this run-through is making me really appreciate Tabitha. And also hate myself for how I'm being a bitch to her in my first run-through. But yeah, this run-through really... It's very much changing my view of Tabitha into a more positive light. Like a very, very positive light. Please don't let me regret saying that. There's so much on my plate right now. But I'll see you tonight. Maybe we can have some ice cream or something. If you want to spend time together, I mean. I never actually seen that face before. I don't think. Tabitha's phone buzzes. I better get back to work. Stay safe out there, Bacon. Call me if you run into any more trouble. But please, don't go looking for any today, okay? I don't need you to go missing too. You leave the office, closing the door behind you. You find Kanika and Avery waiting for you outside. You don't look like you found any new leads. You look back at the striking miners. Let's keep it to ourselves. You don't need to go around spilling Tabitha's secrets. It's not like she's gonna fire Davis anyways, because she said he's a good worker. And like we told her, like, hey, don't do that. And I think because of our relationship with Tabitha, she's gonna listen to him. God, it's so hot in here. Ugh. This is the worst thing about recording or streaming in the summer. I don't have central air. So my office is a sauna in the summer and then a freezer in the winter. So give me a few moments. I need to freeze again so I can stay in here for another hour or so. Feels like we've done our due diligence here. Come on, I'll drive us back to town and we can figure out our next move from there. Where to next? Let's go to the church. We should check out the church. Church? Why? I see what you're thinking. Stella was confronted with the evidence of the afterlife, so she might be trying to get into all of that religious stuff. Worth checking out. I think we'd be barking up the wrong tree, but I guess you're right. There's no point in not being thorough. I wouldn't mind stocking up on some holy water while we're there. Seems like a good idea to cover all our bases at this point. I don't think Baptists do the holy water thing, but I'm sure Pastor Daniel would pretend to bless some water if it meant keeping us around a little longer. That's good enough for me. Let's not linger, though. I don't want him thinking we're possible converts.
There he is.
Just like sitting there like, hey. Kanika leads the way, taking you up the gradual slope towards the church. You know, I've lived here for a few years now, and I've never actually been to the church. That's probably for a good reason. Where is that weirdo? My! 4 visitors at once on a Thursday? That is unprecedented. There's only 3 of us. Who's the 4th? But there are only 3 of us here. Oh no. Are we being followed by a ditchling? Were we followed by Wayne? Yes. Oh, I forgot Zane. Sup, old people? Oh, just Zane. What are you doing here? All that glimpses of death I've had in the past 2 days have forced me into the mindset of an existential crisis, my dudes. I wanted to see if faith held any answers for me. Alas, I have not yet found the solace I seek. Give it time, Zane. Sometimes it takes a while for the Lord to work his way into your heart, but when he does, you won't regret letting him in. Be sure to look over those pamphlets I gave you, and of course, I'm always here if you need to talk to. Don't die on me, phone. I have, like, 2 hours left. Sure thing, Pastor D. Peace, y'all. Anyways, we're looking for Stella. She wandered off last night, and no one has seen her since. We're starting to get pretty worried. We hoped maybe you or Janie had seen her. I can't speak for Janie, but I'm afraid I've seen neither hide nor hair of Stella. If you'd like to talk to my wife, she's over by the alpacas. Though, Bacon, I was hoping we might be able to talk in private. What do you have to say to him that you can't say in front of us? Please, if you wouldn't mind, this is a personal matter. It's alright. We can get the juicy details later. I'd rather folks not pry into this. You know how rumors get started. I'm okay to talk to him. If you're sure, I guess we'll leave you to it while we check in. We'll be right over here by the fence. That's convenient in your line of sight, right? See ya in a minute. Your friends head off towards Janie and the alpacas, leaving you alone with the nervous pastor and Wayne. Your friends had— oh, we already read that. I'm so glad you came. I've never met anyone else who could hear them. You have no idea how long I thought I must have had some kind of insanity. I even thought at one point that it must have been the Lord himself talking to me through them. But they never had anything very insightful to say, so I was disavowed of that pretty early on. Have we been cursed? Why do we suffer this fate? I don't think it's a curse. It can be annoying at times, but so can talking to people. Not that I feel that way very often, of course. As a servant of God, I am always ready and willing to talk to my fellow man about anything they need to discuss. Spiritually, I've always rationalized it as God's sign that I should spread his word to even the beasts of his world. I've had mixed results. Seems the alpacas prefer Catholicism, which they know about somehow, and the birds tend to be incredibly heretical. Physically, I wish I had answers. I wish I could approach a scientist about this without being a research experiment. But I've preferred to keep quiet at my doctor's visits. I can't risk being locked away or altered in some permanent way, not when I have a family to take care of. Is your gift why you got into church? It's hard to say. I was raised Baptist by two loving parents and was always interested in religion, but I've always known about my talent, so I don't know what came first. If anything, though, I'd say I'm a religious in spite of the gift. It hasn't exactly been easy to square this with a lot of the religious educations I've had. For instance, a lot of religious leaders will tell you that only humans have souls. Well, you and I both know that's not true. Though I suppose that gets into a whole different conversation about what exactly a soul is. But those conversations that I am glad to leave to the scholar. I'm just a simple small-town pastor. I don't need to ask the big questions anymore. I just have to help people through their daily lives. Is that why people think you're creepy? Because you have the gift? People think I'm creepy? But it's alright. People say all kinds of things. I just have to be patient and persistent, and I know eventually they'll understand that I can be a comforting presence in their lives. Not a creepy one. Wayne, just... Seriously, when I was streaming my first run-through of this and someone's like, look towards the church, I'm like, what? He's been there the entire time. Maybe if I grew a thicker beard, people would trust me more. Or maybe I could get a cool jacket? Does Janie know? No. I don't believe there should be secrets between man and wife, so I'll have to tell her one day, but there hasn't been a good time. Building a life in Scarlet Hollow has been a difficult process, and the last thing I need to do is add the stress of her husband being some kind of circus act. Tulip, on the other hand, I'm starting to have my suspicions that she might share this gift. There have been some particularly nasty rats in the church lately, and she said some things that have led me to believe she might be able to understand them. He's interrupted by the sounds of a snapping twig and a high-pitched giggle, partly muffled by the underbrush on the edge of the property. Tulip! Come out of there! You know you're not supposed to play in the woods. Tulip glances back into the woods, quiet as she hesitates. Tulip, are you going to be good, or are we going to skip story time tonight? I'll be good. You don't have to skip story time. I won't go into the woods. I promise. Not in this episode. I'm sure in a future one she will. I know you won't, Tulip, because you know it's too dangerous for little girls in there. Why don't you go help Mama with the alpacas? It's just about time they got fed. You can give them hay. Tulip smiles broadly, seemingly excited by the prospect, and hurries off. Sorry, I had to have a firm parenting moment just then. She's been trying to run off into those woods a lot lately, and it's really dangerous, even for adults. There's this massive trash dump not too far past the trees, but it must be at least 50 years old, so it's all grown over, and looks like it's part of a landscape. But if you accidentally walk on it, you might find yourself falling into a hip-deep mound of rusty cans and broken glass. Oh, Tetanus Lake! Stella told me about it. Tetanus Lake? That's an accurate name. I wonder if Tulip would stay away if I started calling it that, or if it would only make it sound more alluring. Well, a kid doesn't know what tetanus is. So, I don't... Just call it something else, I think. What were you saying about the church rats? Yes, the rats. So you and I are used to the sort of chatter we hear from wildlife. It's usually nothing that needs to be paid attention to. But these rats, there's something so sinister about them. And they must be huge judging by the sound of them scurrying around in there. Tulip never shown evidence of the ability before. She's never responded to the alpacas or engaged in conversations with birds. In retrospect, she could have been hiding it the way I did growing up. Because I know she's been talking to the rats. She calls them her friends, has been drawing all these pictures of them, really ghastly thing. I've tried to bring it up with her, but she just gets this little smile and doesn't say a word, like it's her fun little secret. It's all innocent enough in the grand scheme of things, but I'm pretty sure they also live out in the trash heap, and ever since she started talking about her friends, she's been trying to sneak out there. See, I don't think they're rats. I think they're like ditchlings, because ditchlings can talk a little bit. I'm concerned she's going to get hurt or catch some sort of disease. What have they been saying? They like to try to goad me into crying or becoming depressed. They watch me through unseen holes and make fun of me and try to figure out how to press my buttons. It's annoying, but easy enough to block out, especially when I'm praying. I don't think they're a good influence on Tulip, though. She's gotten quiet and secretive ever since she started talking to them. I'd hate to think what they say to her when I'm not around to hear. Are you sure they're rats? I think so. The pastor shifts uncomfortably for a moment. I hope so. Have you actually seen them? No, but I don't need to. I lived in a dorm that had rats once. You never see them, but the church has all signs of an infestation, and there's no mistaking the little sounds of creatures stampeding through the walls. Could be squirrels. I've left some humane rat traps, but they're too smart for them. All it's done is waste peanut butter. And I caught a possum in one. Poor thing. Possums are never very bright, but at least he got a nice scoop of peanut butter out of the ordeal. Oh look, it's probably one of Dustin's siblings! Has Janie heard them? She's not in the church very often. She's usually in town doing her jobs until late, and we spend our evenings in the house. It's just me and Tulip all day long. Janie knows Tulip has made some strange little friends, but thinks it's an imaginary game. I was hoping I'd sort out the rat issue before she could get suspicious, but they're persistent, so I may have to hire an exterminator if I can get the money for one. I hope it doesn't have to come to that. You should talk to Tulip about the gift. I'm sure both of us could have used some guidance growing up. You're right. I grew up with this ability. If anyone can help her understand not to engage with evil little creatures like the rats that are eating God's house from inside out, it's me. I can handle this. And then randomly he dies in the next episode because I said that. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Kanika and Avery walking back to the two of you. They must have finished talking to Janie. Janie says she hasn't seen Stella either, so we better get going. Thanks for suggesting we head up here, Bacon. We got to feed alpacas. They're so cute and soft. It was awesome. And Janie says she'll come by the diner with cookies for the miners. And a few extra for me, of course. Hope your talk with the pastor went well? Yes, we had a great conversation. I appreciate you all stopping by, even if it wasn't under the best circumstances. I'll let you all be on your way. And I hope Stella turns up soon. I'll put in some good prayers with the big man for her. Alright, thanks. See ya. Kanika and Avery start back down the path to town and you follow. We never got like a keen eye thing that says, Wayne is by the church. That's interesting. So, what was that about? He seemed pretty insistent talking to you alone. Yeah, he didn't say anything weird, did he? Tulips apparently made some weird imaginary friends. We might want to check it out later this week. Kids make up imaginary friends all the time. Pastor Daniel says there's a rat infestation in the church, and that the rats are her friend. I don't know, it seemed weird. I should have known we'd have to deal with a spooky kid at some point. Okay, as much as I'd hate going back there, I guess that's a loose lead. If we don't have anything else to investigate once we found Stella, and Kanika pauses. Once we've checked out the clinic, then maybe we can look around the church. Maybe this will be episode 5. Sounds like a plan. Let's not get too distracted until we find Stella, though. Where to next? We should go to the cops, right? Are you sure? There's nothing against the officers of Scarlet Hollow, but you've met them, right? Do you think it's worth the trouble? As unhelpful as they are, we are dealing with a missing person. That's cop stuff. It's probably going to be more of a formality than anything, but there's no point in it not covering all our bases. See, I don't remember going to the cops in my first run-through, so this is going to be all new. The police station is exactly what you would expect from a town the size of Scarlet Hollow. It smells strongly of coffee and faintly of aged furniture and paper, and the general tidiness speaks of a department that doesn't get much of anything done. But you're not alone here. You enter to find a worried Beau standing between you and the officer behind the desk. Big Betty wasn't just a pumpkin, Deputy Franklin, sir. She was gonna be a prize winner. Raising her was the last thing me and my daddy did together. She's important to our family. The Scarlet Hollow police are spread pretty thin at the moment, young man. Any property disputes will have to wait, if indeed there is a dispute to be had. Are you sure it wasn't some animal that took your vegetable? We might need to go to Duke's farm in an episode too. Sir, you know Mr. Tremaine thinks the land belongs to him. He probably thought Big Betty was his to take. He ain't coming to his door, so for all I know, he might be all the way to the state fair by now with our pumpkin. Ain't there something you can do about it? But are you part of a cult? Stella ran off last night and she's missing. Let me just, wiggle my way in. A missing person? Apologies, Mr. Calloway, but I'm gonna have to handle this first. Deputy Franklin pulls out a few forms from the front desk and holds them. If one of you could fill these out, please. I'll take care of that. Thank you so much for taking this seriously, Mike. I know Stella has a tendency to go on hiking trips, but this feels different. She can't be in her right mind going back out there in the woods after what happened to my daddy. Thanks for taking this seriously. I take everything seriously. Now, is there anything else I can help you with? Beau, did you manage to find your dad? Beau's stoic expression breaks, and for a moment, you can almost see tears forming in his eyes. But he blinks them away. No, I ain't found him. Had to stop looking so I could come home and guard the farm. There are more of those things every minute, it seems like. Do you think they'll go back where they came from soon? They will, once they've had their fill of suffering. The moment I walked into this town, everyone's like, what the fuck is this crazy person on? Just saying all this shit, spouting stuff out. It's like, yeah, it's a Scarlet, alright. I don't much like the sound of that. I'm sure things will go back to normal soon. I'm so sorry for everything you had to go through. What's all this about a pumpkin? Julius Terramain stole Big Betty, and I'm trying to get the police to talk to him. See, that's a person we've never met before, so he has to be coming soon. And I've been telling Mr. Calloway that there's no way to prove who the vegetable in question belonged to. There's no documentation, it's your word against his. The Calloways and Termains have been at this a long time. Some feud from over a century ago split the families, and they've been at it ever since. What makes you think Julius stole it? He's been claiming Big Betty as his since day one, on account of he thinks it was planted on his side of the property. He's never been good about the property line, same as every Termaine that came before him. We get our fair share of calls from Mr. Termaine as well. Not that I'm at liberty to discuss confidential police information. I was hoping we'd get a reprieve for his nonsense after what happened to Daddy, but don't look like he's willing to give us any time to grieve. You know, Julius is a friend of mine. He's a lot of things, and he's definitely a bit of a Crumingen? Whatever. A degen. But I've never pegged him as a thief. I don't know Julius ever talked to nobody. Talk is a strong word, but I like to think we have some sort of understanding. Why is that pumpkin so valuable? She was gonna get us a blue ribbon. Daddy said she was near 2,000 pounds. We were supposed to go... Whenever I have to read Bo, it is so hard to read his lines and like... Ugh. We were supposed to be at the state fair by now, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen this year. And Mr. Termaine ain't even coming to his door to answer for what he done. Just holed up like the coward he is. At the very least, he could give me back some seeds from what's left of her, so I can try again next year. Here's an important pumpkin in our family. You know, I haven't seen him since Tuesday. He's usually in the diner every day. Not necessarily a big deal for a lot of people, but he never misses his morning joe. So maybe he isn't a thief. Could be something happened to him. Episode 4 or episode 5? No, episode 5, episode 6? If he ain't the thief, then who stole our pumpkin? It's me. I just don't think folks should be so quick to jump to conclusions. How would you even move a 2,000-pound pumpkin? I don't know how I did it, but he did. If I could have easily been a bear, or a mountain lion, or any large lion. Holy shit, I misread that whole line. It could have easily been a bear, or a mountain lion, or any large animal. Weren't no bear. We're hunting folk. We know the signs. This was a man's work. And that means it was Mr. Termaine. He knew just what to do to hurt our family. Classic Southern family dispute. Classic Southern family dispute, and everyone's pissed at me. Look how sad he is. And he's they're disappointed in me. I don't think I much appreciate you saying that. Made me feel a little small. Oh, Bo, no! Sorry, Bo. I don't think Bacon meant it like that. He probably just didn't know what to say. Kanika shoots you a quick glare, a warning not to pursue this topic any further. You know, Mike, it sounds like Bo has a real chase here. It's not just two neighbors getting angry at each other. Property's been stolen. Couldn't you just get involved on his behalf just once, after everything he's been through? This isn't the first time there's been theft between the Callaways and Termaines. We've heard it all. We know exactly how it'll play out. Trust the police to do the policing, ma'am. What would it take for the cops to get involved? Why? You looking to escalate the situation? None of us are planning on doing any escalating. We're just asking questions. Good. Let's keep it that way. I promise I won't do anything bad, Mr. Deputy, sir. You know, even if Julius didn't take Big Betty, it might be worth doing a welfare check. Look, kid, I'd love to help. The sheriff has a standing order to not step foot on the Termaine homestead. The man loves his booby traps. Oh, great. That's never stopped me. I don't make the rules. You'll have to take it up with Sheriff Hugby. If I may, sir, ain't that a mite bit cowardly of you? I thought police officers were supposed to be brave. Fuck no. This ain't about courage, Mr. Calloway. This is about public safety, and it's about the sheriff's judgment and authority outweighing my own. Look, I've been to Julius's 100 times. I can tag along and make sure nobody gets hurt. Look, I'll pass it along when he gets back, but he has his hands full right now. I can't make any promises. Looks like you're busy. We'll be on our way. Kanika hands the completed report back to Deputy Franklin. Thanks, ma'am. I'll get this filed right away. Good luck out there. I hope Miss Richmond is alright and you'll find her soon. We'll be on our way. Best keep your nose clean out there, Bacon. Try to stay out of trouble. And then I'll jump on the desk and smack him. Well, at least we filed a report. Still, I guess finding Stella's going to mostly be up to us. We got to find out what's going on with Julius, too. He's been missing from the diner for a few days. It's weird. He usually comes in every day. Maybe he's preoccupied with the ditchlings. I just hope he's okay. One problem at a time. Yeah, where to next? We're gonna check the diner, and then we're gonna jump to Sybil, and then we'll slowly get back into the story. Let's check out the diner. Good idea. Folks tend to congregate there. Maybe we'll run into someone who's seen Stella. Here's hoping Winnie doesn't try to rope me into clocking in early. Oh, none of the miners that were at the, No, wait. He kind of looks like he was there. Huh. Is that Rodriguez? I don't think that's Rodriguez. I think Rodriguez was clean-shaven, I think. I don't remember. The diner is busier than you've ever seen it. Small booths packed with miners. Oops. Okay, I didn't mess anything up in OBS. Well, I guess this is where the miners are setting up shop. When you asked for the morning off, I didn't think you'd show up with friends. Sorry, Aunt Winnie. Stella's gone missing and I've been helping these two track her down. You haven't seen her, have you? Don't apologize, and I can't say I have. I've been a little preoccupied. This is great for business. These fellas can have as much free coffee as they can drink if they keep piling in like this. Do you need any help? No. Sal and I can handle this. One of your friends going missing is more important than a busy shift. The miners didn't even notice you enter the diner, and instead of speaking in hushed voices, argue with each other loudly enough for you to easily overhear. I guess the shift schedules are pretty brutal, and I'd like to have more vacation days. I love to be able to see my family around the holidays, and better health benefits would be amazing. But what if she decides to fire us all? Should we be worried about you-know-who being here? Nah, I wouldn't bother. I got a call from Smith. Apparently he was poking around the mines earlier today. But it sounds like he's generally got her back. It's me! I don't know. What if it's a trick? What if Miss Scarlet hears about us talking and fires me? You're only a year or so into the work. And trust me, the longer it goes on, the more it sucks the life out of you. At first, you're just unhappy. But you figure out you can weather it until you find something better. A paycheck's a paycheck. Next thing you know, you've lost years of your life to a company that doesn't give a solitary shit about you, that uses up every free second it can suck out of its workers and pays us just enough to survive, but not so much that we can ever save enough to get the hell out. Yep, sounds like any job. But we could get fired for this. I really need the paycheck. I can't get fired. And the company housing, that makes a big difference for me. Right, the company housing. How generous of Tabitha to put you up in a company-owned shack that ain't had maintenance done in decades. Taking a big chunk right out of your paycheck that sure as shit ain't going towards the property taxes and upkeep alone. The company housing that means almost nobody in this whole damn town owns the place they live in. We have numbers on our side, Harrison. After what happened up there the other night, damn near everyone is joining the picket line. She can't afford to lose us all. We have the power here, so long as we're united. Hey, have any of you seen Stella? She's missing. The miners turn towards the doorway, all eyes staring at you like a deer in the headlights. The YouTuber? No, we ain't seen her. As you can see, we've got a lot going on today. We'd appreciate it if you didn't butt in. Harrison's voice drops to a bearable, audible mumble. She's okay. I won't say anything, I guess. I guess we should keep going. You turn and leave the diner, Avery and Kanika trailing close behind you. Still no sign of Stella. As you consider your next steps, you remember your appointment with Sybil. She seemed to be confident last night that Stella would be okay. Maybe she'll be able to help you find her. Nobody ever seems to say anything to undermine her, except for her daughter. And daughters always clash with their mothers. This town trusts her. And she'd never disparage your gift. Disparage? Perhaps she's one of the few people in town who can truly understand you. Disparage. Okay, it pretty much means to degrade. I kind of wish they, like, some of the writing for video games, they were a bit simpler. Like, yes, you can use that word, but a lot more people will know the word degrade more than this one. But again, this is coming from someone with a BA in English, so that's just me. Like, if you have to keep Googling words, like, yes, it will help with your vocabulary and everything, but, you know. Makes the story flow a little bit less better. You have to see her. She's the thread tying everything together. But at the back of your mind, you can't help but feel as if there's more than just fate drawing you to that tea room. We should talk to your mom. I'm supposed to have tea with her today. My mom wanted to talk to you? She's probably going to give you some rocks or bundles of herbs for protection or something. We can humor her. Let's do it. The bells of the general store chime welcomingly as the three of you enter. Kanika, there you are. You were supposed to stay in bed today, remember? And hello, you two. Hope you're both recovered from last night's fiasco. Sorry, Mom. It's just that Stella's missing and Stella can take care of herself. Unlike you. You need best rest and lots of fluids. You don't need going around town spreading that cold of yours. Go on. Get up in bed. I'll be up in a minute with more tea. I thought you had some kind of important thing to talk to Bacon about. I'm really feeling okay. I want to hear what you wanted to say to him. I'll just be doing a tea reading. Haven't those always bored you to tears? Okay, you're right. I'm not feeling well. I should lie down. Bye, Bacon. Kanika turns her head towards the stairs without saying another word. Good thing Kanika has her mom looking out for her. She seemed so tired today. And you'll probably be able to find Stella without her. Wait, this isn't right, is it? Something's going on here. It's hard to put into words or pin it into thoughts. Interesting. Interesting. And I'm so sorry to be a bad host, Avery, but I was hoping Bacon and I could do our reading in private. I'm sure Winnie needs help at the diner. Oh, you're right. I've totally left her on her own today. Fine by me. I wouldn't want to mess with your tea vibes. I'm sure those leaves are very particular. Oh, but before I go, I did want to ask. Are you a witch? As flattered as I am that you think I'm that magical, I'm just an old lady who likes tea and has a few unusual hobbies. For real, for real. Look, I'm just saying, doing stuff like reading tea leaves is pretty witchy as far as I'm concerned, but I won't push it. Though, just so you know, if you are a witch, you can totally tell us. We'd be cool about it. I'll leave you all to your non-supernatural private tea leaf reading. We'll catch up tomorrow, Bacon. They make their way out of the general store, disappearing down the street in the direction of the diner. Shall we? Sybil motions towards the tea room. This is going to be interesting to have a keen eye and mystical. I'm looking at her husband's portrait. I wonder if those are forget-me-nots right there. Please have a seat. I'll bring you a fresh cup. I just love looking at the detail of this game. It's very beautiful. You take a seat at the small table at the edge of the room. It's dark here. Only a sliver of sunlight able to filter through the heavy curtain. supplemented by the grow lights over the plant in the corner. Sybil joins you at the table and places a cup in front of you. It smells light and citrusy, with an undercurrent of decaying earth. It's the same tea you sampled with Avery at the diner on Tuesday. I'll be able to do a reading once you're done. Until then, how about we just chat? How did you wind up in Scarlet Hollow? Oh, my family's been in these hills for a long time. That's how I know so much of the local flora. Everything I've learned was handed down from generations of hill folk. Ooh, her music's really loud. Hang on, turn that down a little. There hasn't always been a reliable doctor up here, especially not one most folks could afford. They have to figure out their own medicine. The other day you promised to tell me, what was it? Unsavory tales of my mom's youth? I most certainly did, though I might have been exaggerating a bit for dramatic effect. I'm prone to do that. In a town this size, you get to know everyone, no matter what the age difference might be. Vivian was a little younger than me, which meant I always had a certain older sister instinct about her. Her family wasn't good to her. Perlan was a lot like your great-grandmother, Edwardian, which is to say, she was not a very kind woman. Similar to Tabitha, but with more social grace and considerably more hatred for her fellow man. This is so loud. Why is this song so loud? I'm gonna turn it down a little bit more. But your mother wasn't a shrinking violet either. She was just as stubborn as any other Scarlet, so her family choosing her as their punching bag made her into quite the rebel. Why were Perlan and my mom raised by Edwardian? What happened to their mother? Their entry into this world was violent, I'm afraid. Their mother was young, too young to be pregnant, especially with twins. She didn't survive the labor. What do you know about my grandma? I'm afraid there isn't much I can tell you. I think there were two in that generation. The eldest died when the girls were still children. Edwardian never spoke about them, nor did your mother. I feel like I know a lot about the women in my family, but what about the men? Did they even exist? I suppose they just haven't been very noteworthy since Edwardian took over the mines. Her husband died a long time ago, and to be quite honest, I can't even recall his name. I do want to know who her husband is, because I know she was with Charlie for a bit, and we all saw how that played out. But I am curious. Might have been Stuart or something just as forgettable. What if it was just like a cover-up? And it's like, yeah, I married this guy, and everyone's like, okay, we've never heard the guy, we don't know his name or anything, but okay, you're pregnant, that makes sense. Right? Right? From what Vivian said, her father was some teenaged fling that ended once your grandmother found out she was pregnant. Okay, so we don't know our grandpa. But our great-grandpa, I think it is Charlie. I'm fairly certain it was similar for Vivian, though she was much older, and I believe she was the one who ended it, with the skipping town and all. What happened when my mom found out she was pregnant? She came to me for advice. She was distraught. It was like she'd been handed a death sentence. Maybe it was fear from what had happened to her own mother. Maybe it was something else. But she seemed convinced she was in danger. Tabitha had already been born by then, of course, but she was born in wedlock, so I assumed your mother's worries had something to do with religion. Though the Scarlets weren't particularly religious as far as I knew, but the way Vivian was that night she came to me, it stuck in my mind. It's always had me wondering what it was about your family that made her panic so much, thought of having a baby. Yeah, there's something. Sybil, why am I being forced to drink the tea? I should be able to decide not to drink it. What's wrong with me? Dear, I'm afraid I don't understand what you're trying to say right now. There's always a choice. It's quite an aromatic blend, though, isn't it? I'll take your enthusiasm for my tea as a compliment. What's with all the mystery and ritual? If you have something to tell me, just come out and say it. I'll need your tea leaves first. I have pieces of the puzzle, but the tea leaves should help to give me the full picture. So that is still there. You take the tea, sipping it delicately. The citrus smell is fleeting, quickly replaced with the earthiness at its core, like you've taken a mouthful of dirt. But the aftertaste combines the two flavors into something and medicinal, and you find yourself feeling more comfortable, your muscles relaxing for the first time in days. It's soothing beyond what you would expect out of ordinary tea. There must be something magical at work in this blend. You close your eyes and take another sip, and then another. It's delightful. The tea is gone before you know it, the small cup empty save for what's left of the rehydrated leaves coating the bottom. Oh good! You found the tea palatable, enough to drink it. It should do you some good. It's one of my more medicinal blends. God, I can't speak anymore. Now on to business. Sybil takes the cup from you, staring thoughtfully down at the sludge. Oh dear, this doesn't bode well. You've got just about every warning that can fit into the bottom of a cup. Cross, kettle, hourglass. All of these mean death, misery, difficulty. And the hourglass ties it all together with definite urgency. It's fair to assume that this all has to do with whatever brought the ditchling. Something is coming, and whether any of us can stop it, I'm not sure. But we may at the very least be able to figure out what it is. And there's a central figure here. A cat. An enemy lurking in plain sight. I'd like to see. I'm sure it wouldn't make much sense to most people. It'll probably just look like a confusing mess of old leaves. But you're free to take a look. Huh? You take the cup staring into it. Where does she see an hourglass? It's just leaves. There's no pattern. Nothing swimming together in the dregs of your tea to give you any warning or premonition. After a long moment, Sybil takes the cup back from you. I hope that settles your curiosity. Don't worry if you couldn't make sense of it. It takes years to learn this sort of thing, even for someone with your propensities. He winks conspiratorially. Oh yeah, Truck is the cat that lives in my house that's like peeing all over the place, and he's my roommate. Huh. I think I said this in my run through before. I'm gonna do it here because I have Mystical. That's ridiculous. Sybil is helping you. And if she was the cat, why would she warn you about herself? Pick someone else. No, in my first run through, I did accuse her. I didn't get this. That isn't you, though, is it? Ignore it and speak your mind. How do I know you're not the cat? So something's going on. I suppose you don't. Though, I'd like to think the cat wouldn't exactly warn you about itself. Still, you can't rule out even the old lady with the tea obsession. You don't have to figure out an answer right away. It often takes time for the mind to connect the dots. Just be on guard, and keep vigilant that someone close to you isn't to be trusted. We know from the ditchlings that something terrible is coming your way, and it's likely that it's connecting to some hidden enemy. Perhaps we can try to counteract whatever might be planned for you. Judging by what you told me last night, those stones, carvings, seals, whatever you call them, I think it's likely They have something to do with it. Until the cat reveals itself, it seems like your best course of action is to seek these carvings out. Piece together what you can from your visions and arm yourself with the info. Have you sensed any others around town? Do you think you might be able to find another? Your thoughts drift to the door yesterday, the one that seemed to draw you in, urging you deeper into the clinic. Even just remembering it is enough to tug at you, compelling you to return and open it to see what's on the other side. You can find Stella later. Maybe you can even find her there. This is so weird. The voice in our head is not us. It feels weird. What's important now is finally seeing what's hidden in the clinic. I think I felt another in the clinic. That's good! If you can find your way inside and uncover another stone, that could give you a leg up on your adversary. You'll just have to be careful to avoid the doctor. Something tells me she won't take too kindly to you sniffing around her clinic. I think that's all the help I can offer. I hope this conversation has been illuminating, even if it just brought up more questions than giving any clear answers. You helped last night. Why don't you come with me? I may have been able to see through the spirit's illusions, but I'm not some kind of all-powerful entity. I'm an old woman. I have trouble with my knees, and my eyesight isn't what it used to be. In most situations, I'd be more of a liability than a helpful companion. Imagine if I'd been in those mines with you. Some use I'd be, struggling to climb over rocks and ladders, throwing my back out from all the crouching. All you do is look at some tea leaves and tell me to put myself in danger. I suppose you could see it that way, but I hope I've done more than that, even if you don't realize it yet. Thank you again for humoring an old woman and stopping by for a chat. With a small grunt of effort, Sybil gets up from the table and you're escorted back to the door. And remember, be careful who you put your trust into. According to your tea, the cat is getting ready to pounce, and merely getting ready for it might not be enough. Sybil closes the door to the tea room. The bells of its doors strangely flat in the stale air of the nearly empty general store. I could check in on Kaneko, or I could just go to the clinic. It's time to you to get to the bottom of what's behind the door. You know, I probably should have checked in for Kanika, because there is that cutscene we see of Sybil being like, no, go back to your room. But that's fine. You make your way up to the familiar hill, past the rows of ragged houses that make up Scarlet Hollow's residential area. There he is, just creeping. Then there's another creeper there.
The little raccoon.
And Pim! It's Pim from Smiling Friends. It isn't long before you find yourself outside of Dr. Kelly's clinic, its secrets enticing you to find a way in. Even at the bottom of the hill, you can already feel the presence. Like a magnet has been fixed to your ribcage, gently tugging you forward, guiding you towards whatever emits this compulsive frequency. You quickly glance around, eyes trained on the underbrush. A flash of a striped tail grabs your eyes immediately.
A creature!
See, this is new too.
Can I help you, Buster?
Hey there! If you were trying to break into that house at the top of the hill, how would you do it? What? Just because I've got little hands and I go through people's trash, I'm supposed to know how to break into places? There's a hill that'll take you right up the big flat roof thing. Sometimes humans leave windows open. Up there. I go inside. Don't tell them, okay? I like to sleep in their big pile of clothes. One of my few joys in life. What does Wayne think of me talking to animals? He's probably like, what the hell did that boy just do? Actually, he wouldn't really call me... Well, I don't even know if it's Wayne. It could be... I don't think whatever Wayne isn't Bacon's age. So, I guess that is the correct term. He leaves you as you turn back to look at the clinic. You have your way in. Just go through the clinic door. No one will see you. You found at times that if you haven't wished to be seen, there's nothing stopping you from remaining hidden. Graveyards, abandoned buildings, old tunnels. You've been in all sorts of strange and unusual places without incident. And for some reason, tonight, Dr. Kelly's clinic feels no different. You haphazardly make your way up to the wooden stairs of the clinic's wraparound porch, taking steps in strange patterns. To an outside observer, you might appear to be drunk, but there's an unconscious method to your conscious madness. So even though you would be hard-pressed to describe it, but there's no creak or moan of ancient wood as you make your way to the door. Silence. And Wayne's looking at me like, how the fuck? You push the door open slowly and slip inside. Oh! You can see the doc at the desk in some room down the hall. She hasn't noticed you. You shut the door silently, watching her closely. You're in the clinic, free to explore as you please, or rather, you're free to explore as you please. You can feel that odd sensation again, the nagging pull of whatever it was that wanted you to find it. You're here now, and it knows you're here, and you know exactly what it is. Another stone carving, eager to show you its secret. You've been caught by its gravity, an overwhelming curiosity guiding you around a corner and towards a dark doorway under the stairs. It's been left ajar, as if inviting you to enter. Turn on the lights and throw my phone at that body. The lights click on. You're in a morgue. Bacon? What are you doing in the morgue? Reese, I can ask you the same question. What are you doing in the morgue? Laying on the cleaning slab? I don't know what you would, but that's where they clean them.
Hi, a vampire!
I'm not. Please don't stake me. I just sometimes find it easier to sleep down here. Don't ask me why. It's just how it is. His words seem distant to you. The tugging is strong down here. You can almost feel yourself slipping into a trance, and your eyes wander to the back wall of the morgue. You need to see what's back there. You touch the wall. It feels disappointingly solid under your palms. Hey, are you okay? You feel Reese's hand gently shake your shoulder, and for a moment, the thing on the other side of the blank white wall loosens its pull on you. You kind of looked possessed for a second there. You good? Make him understand. Use your words. Don't let this river consume you. Be present in the moment. You inhale deeply and take in your surroundings. You can't help but notice that one of the body storage drawers is labeled Pearl and Scarlet. I'm looking at my dead aunt's body. You step forward and pull open the drawer. So this is your Aunt Pearl Ann. Cold bareness of the Scarlet Mines and local she-devil that it seemed no one, not even her own daughter, was able to mourn. This is not the first corpse you've seen, but it feels the same as any other. She's an empty body now. The warmth and energy of life now dissipated. Same as your mother was, same as you'll be one day. Cold air rises from her bluish skin, her vacant, flimsy eyes staring up at nothing. You try to imagine what she may have looked like alive and breathing, slinging subtle insults at townsfolk. But it's hard to picture any expression on a face so stiff and cold with death. Making sure she didn't walk off? Poke her just to make sure. You prod your aunt's lifeless body. She's dead. She looks pretty dead to me. Reese is like, you're more of a freak than me. I don't touch dead bodies. But I guess looks can be deceiving. I'll make sure the doc locks her drawer from here on out. She won't be faking it for long once she's locked in a big refrigerator. Unless she winds up being a zombie or something. But that would be lame. Zombies are so overdone. Having seen what there was to see, you slide the drawer back in and close it. And now Reese is like, oh god, I'm stuck in a morgue with this crazy person. Shit. The mines had a stone carving the other night, as did Oscar's house yesterday. They've been giving me visions, and I can sense one on the other side of this wall. I need to see it. Reese glances back at the wall. You're really serious, aren't you? This is probably a bad idea, but if you really need to get in there, I'm pretty sure there's an emergency axe somewhere upstairs. I just need to get the doc out of our hair. Could take 2 seconds. Get the doc out of our hair? Yeah. If I say I'm sick and need something, she'll drop whatever she's doing and do it for me. Surefire way to get her out of the house. And most of the time it's true anyways. Doesn't that make her worry about you even more? There's nothing I can do at this point to get her to stop worrying about me. Might as well use it to my advantage when I can. Thank you for understanding. Don't mention it. If there's anything I can do to actually be useful, I'm happy to help. Be right back. He strides past you, his long legs moving swiftly. He seems excited, his usual demeanor replaced with an uncharacteristic pep when faced with the prospect of sneaking around and tearing down walls. You hear his soft voice filtering in through the open doorway at the top of the stairs, a hoarse and sickly edge added for effect as he speaks to his mother. Hey, Mom? He coughs gently. Reese, I didn't know you were awake. I still feel like shit, but I think I can finally keep... But I think I can finally try to keep some juice down. It looks like we're all out, though. Really? I thought I just picked some up. Well, if it's like me, that juice is gone in like 2 days. I've got an errand to run on Main Street anyways. I'll go pick up some orange juice and some ginger ale too. That would be awesome. Sorry to ask. I know you're probably busy. It's no problem. It doesn't take long. Don't do anything too strenuous when I'm away. Just lie in bed until I get back. Thanks, Mom. I'll take it easy. You hear her footsteps move down the hall, and then the front door opening and closing. It worked. The theatric rasp has left his voice, excitement rising in its place. Come on up. We don't have long until she's back. As you step out of the morgue, you relax. The extra space between you and the carving has weakened its hold on you, and with it, your desperation to claw your way through the wall and unveil it. It's one of those emergency fire axes, so it should be pretty obvious where it is, though I'm not sure where she would be. I'll show you around. Let's try the doctor's office first. You make your way to the doorway of her now vacant office. I don't see an axe in here. He's right. Cursory glance reveals nothing but stacks of paper and cabinets of medical supplies. But something on the desk catches your eyes. Some sort of records, with your family's name on them. Oh! I read this in my first run-through of the game, but we have more information and we also have Mystical now. So we might be able to learn more. Reese stops in the doorway, turning to watch you leaf through the document. Find something interesting? They're your family's death certificates. Perlan, cause of death, sleep apnea, discovered by her daughter. Tabitha, that's pretty much a mum. Scarlet, no autopsy performed. Weird, again, it's weird there's no autopsy performed. Tabitha's name is Mum? Wonder who cursed her with that mouthful. I can't even say that. It's like chrysanthemum? Chrysanthemum? Is that how you pronounce it? Oh, I think it's pretty. Edwardians. April 9th, 1913, February 12th, 2003, 83. Heart failure signed by her granddaughter, Perlan. Pretty normal, almost made it to 90, died of a normal old person illness. Enoch. 87, 57, 69, nice. Cause of death, fall from cliff. Oh, that's not normal. However, I think Enoch, yes, Enoch was Edwardian's father. This one has a coroner's report attached to it. Organ sustained impact injuries, lacerations to the neck and body consistent with fall from great height. Oh, an actual autopsy report. Looks ancient. Quickly flip through a few of the other Scarlets whose names aren't familiar. Theodore was, oh, hang on. 28, crushed in mind, collapsed, body not recovered, signed by his brother Enoch. So this would be our well, Enoch is our great-great-grandfather. And Theodore, I don't even know what that would be. Our great-great-uncle? I don't fucking know. Joseph, Louis Scarlet. Yeah, these are the guys. They just die young. Both killed at Normandy in the line of duty. These must have been Edwardian's brother. Yes, I remember she had two brothers that quote-unquote died. Certificate of fetal death, infant boy. I think this was Charlie's kid. Look at that middle name. You can actually hear the ditchlings saying, "Get away from here." Let me turn it up a little. It's very soft, but you can hear it. So Charlie's son, their child, didn't make it. Like I said, the only guy who has lived for a long time has been Enoch. Cause of death, complications during birth, no doctor present, home burial. See, I don't think that's it. No doctor present, home burial. What if they just, like, moved him? Like, maybe he's alive, but he's under a different name and not in Scarlet Hollow. Alexandra Scarlet. This is our grandma. No, sorry, age 9. Missing, presumed dead, signed by mother, Edwardian. No, this is our great-grandma. No. This would be our... This would be... our aunt. No. No. Edwardian is the grandma of Vivian and Perlan. So this is signed by the mother. So this is our... No, wait, no. Would it be our great aunt? I am bad at this family stuff. I don't know. Alexandra, the owner of the doll. So she went missing. Maribel, Scarlet, 17. She's the portrait we saw in the room. Cause of death, complications during childbirth. Signed by her mother, Edwardian Scarlet. That's 3 children of Edwardian that have died. Wow, that's a lot of kids to outlive. Chris's eyes flick up to the doorway, and a second later you hear the sound of the front door handle being turned. His hand is on your shoulder before you even register what's happening, and you're pushed back and out of view of the front door. So, Edwardian is our grandma. Who was... Was Maribel our mom's mom? Because there's no way Andrew is our mom. He died at birth, quote unquote. Alexandra went missing at age 9. Mary Bell would be the only one. And I remember Sybil saying she was young. And Mary Bell died at 17. So I think Mary Bell is our grandma. No, yes. Yes. And Edwardian is our great grandma. I just need like a list of like the Scarlet family tree, so I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Shit, I'm not supposed to be in here. We gotta hide. He hurries to the closet door, motioning you inside. You slip past him and squish yourself into what little space is available in the nearly full closet. Reese is close on your heels.
Hide somewhere else.
Just get in here. You let him in. Because I'm not a bitch. Together you listen as the doctor makes her way to some room deeper in the clinic. In the silence of the tiny closet, every breath seems too loud, as if you could expect Dr. Kelly to hear it from wherever she was across the house. We better wait a second, okay?
Quietly wait for the danger to pass.
The two of you stand in tense silence, both crammed into the suffocating closet, taking shallow breaths as if she could hear your breathing from the other side of the building. But the footsteps soon return. Dr. Kelly makes her way back towards your hiding place, creaking floorboards, broadcasting her location all the way to the hallway just outside of your hiding spot. The footsteps return. They get louder, approaching the open office door, and then they stop. Much to your relief, she opens another door, leaving the main clinic. We're in the clear. We've probably only got a minute or two until she comes back, so let's make it count. The medical supply room is probably our best bet. If any other room in the clinic is likely to have a fire axe, it's probably the room full of chemicals. This way. He motions you down a hallway, slipping through the slightly ajar door of what you assume to be the supply room. Yes, there it is. Keys. Here we go. He rushes over to the cabinet that contains a bright red axe, pulling the glass door open. Your axe. A splash of brown catches your eye. There's a small sprig of what looks like furry berries with a wide 8-pronged leaf still attached at its base. The end of the sprig is leaking sap onto the countertop. It's fresh. Now we can... Reese stops mid-sentence as he notices you staring at the plant. He scoops it up. Does she make her own medicine? What if this is what she needs to, like... What if this is Reese's medicine? He puts it down, but not before breaking off a berry and sliding it into his pocket. I don't think she's allowed to do that. She's not a pharmacist. This room is just for storing stuff she orders for patients from a pharmacist in Brevard. Why would she be making her own? Before you can answer, the two of you hear something in the distance and turn to listen intently. That was the door from the house. Come on, if we hurry, we can get you back downstairs. I'll run interference. Go downstairs, quick. You can hear her approaching now, floorboards creaking in the hallway on the other side of the office. You follow Reese's instructions, once again, staring down the basement stairs, letting the pull of the stone carving guide you back to the morgue. Dr. Kelly's voice filters down from above. I was right. We already had juice. It was just in the back of the fridge, but there's no harm in having extra. What are you doing in the clinic? I thought I told you to get rest. Oh, I'm just gonna chill in the morgue. I got my speakers, so if you hear some weird sounds, it's just my music. I'll be sure to put in earplugs to drown out all that industrial clanging you listen to. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of you spending time down there. It can't be good for your mental health to hang out in a refrigerator for corpses. Do you have at least a blanket this time? Yeah, I'll be fine. It's just a change of scenery. My room feels too claustrophobic right now. Okay, I'll let you know when it's time for dinner. You hear the door close and the sound of Reese descending the stairs to join you in the fluorescent lit room below. Hey! I should warn you, something spooky might happen when we break down the wall. Reese smiles. Good. Feels like I've been missing out lately. Stop asking questions. It's time to see what's on the other side of the wall.
May I make the first blow?
Go for it. You approach the far end of the morgue, axe practically singing through the air as you strike the wall. The first cut offers a surprising amount of resistance. There's some structure behind it, some wood frame holding it in place, trying to stand between you and what waits for you on the other side. You stagger back from the massive hole in the wall and admire your effort. Holy shit. The splintered edge frames a dark passage, seemingly cut deep into the side of the cliff, cold seeping from a forgotten place into the already frigid morgue. Reese coughs as he takes a better look at what lies beyond the wound in the wall. There's a whole hallway back there. Thick, stale air leaks from the hole, filling the morgue with a earthly mildew smell, like the room is slowly filling with dirt. And with the stink of the grave-like room beyond comes an even stronger compulsion. You step forward, and you climb into the hole. This is wild. I had no idea any of this was here. An entire hospital wing, rotting away for decades behind some flimsy drywall. Huh. Why is this place hidden away? A lot of awful stuff happened at this hospital. Maybe people just felt the need to bury these memories. Or perhaps a pipe burst or something? I don't know. You step forward into the unknown. You don't bother to retrieve the axe. The final wall concealing the carving is rotten, water damage having eaten away at the wood above the course of unknowable years, the planks nearly reduced to sawdust. You tear into it. Enoch, I thought you weren't coming today. I was worried you'd leave me here forever. They said there's something... Sorry, they said there's nothing they can do. I'll never use my legs again. Enoch, what am I gonna do? Calm down, Teddy. These doctors don't know what they're talking about. So Teddy would be Theodore, and Theodore is Enoch's brother. I've been doing my own research, and I found us an alternative. We won't have to worry about anything from here on out, I promise. I went to talk to the witch. A witch? But that's nonsense. It's alright. It's all sorted. We're taking you home today, and everything will be resolved by this time next week. This is new. This is new. That's right, Doctor. At this point, I think it's safe to say his body was never recovered. Whoever it was who claimed to be Theodore, it wasn't him. Wasn't even paralyzed, as it turns out. Just some drifter trying to take advantage of the tragedy. Thing goes black. Why am I getting more information in this run-through? Is it because I have Mystical? Your vision swims back into focus, and it takes a solid second or two to reorient yourself. You're in an unfamiliar bed. Reese leans against the far wall, eyeing you with concern and curiosity. Hey! I was worried you slipped into a coma or something. You tore down a wall like a wild animal, found some weird carving, and collapsed. I think you might have had some kind of seizure. I like how Reese just saw that. Us going ham on the wall, us looking at the carving, and then just like collapsing. He's probably like, I don't think that's normal, but I haven't been outside in forever, so... Are you okay? What? Nothing spooky happened. The mountain didn't collapse on us? No ghosts? No. Nothing? We just fell down, twitched a little, and then you seemed stable. I carried you back here. That was a few hours ago. But you have a delicate condition! What? It wasn't super far or anything. I just picked you up and carried you. I might be sick a lot, but that doesn't mean I'm made of paper. With my strong build, I was like, that's bullshit. I'm like beefy. I can still do things normal people can do. I'm sure I'll pay for it later, but I didn't want you to have to wake up in the musty hallway or the morgue. Does Dr. Kelly know I'm here? No, I snuck you back into the house while she was busy in the medical storage room. Do you know how fast he had to be to grab an adult-sized person and just run back down into his house, into the basement, and avoid his mom? Like, he had to be fast and strong. He's like... I think Dr. Kelly should look me over. These seizures can't be good for me. I don't think you'll want her to do that. While you were out, I looked this up. She's not the kind of doctor you want in charge of your healthcare. I should know. I'm the one she's been poisoning for years. I refuse to take my medicine, so she's on the warpath up there. I have no idea what she's doing, but I've blocked my door, so she can't get down here. Now we just have to wait her out. But why would your mom poison you? I don't know. But the internet says this is a castor bean.
It's a bean!
It's used to make ricin, a super deadly poison that causes some of my exact symptoms. I'm sorry that's a naughty bean you have there. And death, usually. The thing is, I can't figure out is whether she's been trying to kill me slowly or if she's just likes keeping me sick enough to be dependent on her. Either way, I don't think I have an illness. I think the illness was me growing up and becoming less easy to control. She sure found a cure for that. Oh, yeah, well, we actually know what happened. Ricin is really bad. How are you not dead? I don't know. Maybe it's low enough dosages? Or maybe I developed a tolerance? But I think the fact that I feel more and more alive by the minute is enough proof that she was keeping me sick. I don't even need solid evidence. No matter what, we should be getting out of this basement soon. I don't like being on an unknown man's bed. I've only known you a few days. I'm sorry, Reese. Where should we go? The only person I know who has a car is Kanika, and she's not answering her phone. I don't know anyone else. And I don't have any other family to go to. I never even finished high school. When I get out of this house, I don't know how I can make sure I don't wind up right back down here. Let's see, you can stay with me if you want, at least until you get on your feet. As long as you're not allergic to cats. I live with a- Oh, wait! No! No, it wasn't flirting, it's fine. I live with a cat named Truck. He's terrible. Truck? That's a great name. I've never had any pets. I hope it's not too late for me to learn how to be friends with a cat. He smiles, his eyes distant, as he imagines the possibility of such a life, undoubtedly for the first time. Oh, thanks, Bacon. You have no idea how much this offer means to me. I don't even remember that offer when in my first playthrough, but I guess we've still got to pass some time before we can get out of here. A distraction seems like a good idea. As you can probably tell, I'm getting a little jittery. Maybe it's the lack of poison in my system for the first time in years, or the fact that my whole perception of reality has been turned on its head. Probably a combo. It doesn't feel awful, to be honest.
You could always draw me.
No, we're not flirting.
I'm chill with whatever.
I still haven't got... I'm just laying on his bed like, yeah, this is fine. Absolutely. I don't know why I'm not sitting up or anything, but I'll just keep laying here. Cool. I kind of only do two things. Paint and watch movies. I mean, shit, same. I'm too jittery to paint right now, especially since I'll probably be leaving this basement and everything in it behind in a couple of hours, so movie it is. I believe I owe you a showing of Shino-Chi Deathblood. Look at that face. Reese gets the movie set up and joins you on the bed. Let me know if it gets too much for you. I'm not a great judge of how other people will react to the sort of things I watch, but I definitely don't want you to feel uncomfortable. This is a slow burn of a movie, but the dread it's managing to build up is palpable in the room. Or maybe that's just how it feels down here all the time. What with the grisly paintings, lack of lighting, cinder block walls, and of course, the fact that the woman currently lurking upstairs has been poisoning her son since his teens. I've seen a couple of the director's other films, and they're all interesting, though this is probably the best introduction to his work. The way it jump cuts to seemingly unrelated TV recordings that then wind up tying back into the narrative at the level of realism and depth to the world that I find really engrossing. It's found footage used to its fullest. I can't believe I'll be able to just do things from here on out. Like watch movies with another person or talk to people ever. You can hear the difference in energy now that Reese hasn't had his daily dose of poison. He's uncharacteristically chatty, clearly not used to talking to another person, let alone when he has the energy to carry on long conversations. Something is changing inside him. Yeah, no, we know. Reese, you feel different. Like your whole personality is changing. Is everything okay? Everything is more than okay. I haven't felt this good in... I don't think I've ever felt this good. A man on the screen yells portions of doom into the camera, trailing off into a wordless scream. The plot is really heating up. I love that there are all these distinct sort of vignettes, little pockets of horror that affect a small number of people, and only once you start to see how they fit together can you realize some fundamental horror about the universe. And then it sees you back. Incredible. Cosmic horror in its truest sense. Reese is becoming very animated. It's probably safe to assume that he's dealing with a lot of extra adrenaline right now, what with his entire reality turning out to be a lie. But he's also talking over the movie. More than just something that's changing in Reese. It's everything. There's a knock on the window.
My boyfriend!
Bacon, don't get any closer to that thing. It's time to go home. Okay, you saw me go in here like hours ago and you just decide now to come up to the window? Also, what's wrong with your hand? Looks like... What is wrong with your hand? It looks like he's cut or like a scale or something. That voice. I know that voice. Is that who's been following you around? I don't know what you're talking about, Reese. Without another word, Wayne starts pounding on the window. Good luck, freak. That glass is shatterproof. Enemies upstairs, enemies outside. We're surrounded. Even if I get out of this house, I won't be safe. You won't be safe. What do you mean? Wayne isn't gonna hurt you. He hasn't hurt anyone. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. He's furious with me. Can't you hear it? But I'm not weak anymore. I can fight back. I don't have to cower in fear from the people who want to hurt me. That's great. No. That's great. I'm not saving it there for a reason. Nope, sorry. I can protect both of us, Bacon. The window shatters. I don't even think I can get my fat ass through that window, Wayne. What the... What is Wayne saying about me? That I have no ass and I can fit up there? Unbelievable. We're gonna have a talk about this, Wayne. The window shatters. As Reese tears at his clothes, paint bubbles out from the canvases, his ghoulish figures peeling themselves out of their two-dimensional worlds, invading yours, crawling up the walls. Grab my hand, I'll pull you out. Leave us alone. See, I'm kind of mad. Wayne thinks I have like a little small ass. No, I have a juicy dump truck. I'm sorry, Wayne. I can't fit through that small window. In a surge of violence, the change that has been brewing inside Reese finally comes. As it manifests, the broken basement window is sealed off, and Wayne along with it. Run! You've seen enough to know you need to leave. You run up the stairs. The door is blocked by a chair. Then grab the chair and throw it. And then it's blocked by something else too. You toss the chair out of the way and do your best to tear through the paintings covering the door. It reforms and regenerates too quickly for you to claw your way through. Defeated, you turn back to the basement. The remainder of Reese's paintings await their artist's command. It's okay. Stay here. I can take care of this. Then she won't be able to hurt anyone anymore. I'll be right back.
I don't want to stay here.
Reese storms up the stairs, leaving you with his smears. Okay. So we did this before. We did this one for the first run through, but let's do it again, because Tabitha is older now, and this is also hardcore mode, so let's see what happens. You dial your cousin's number. Hey, where are you? Clinic! Emergency! Scary! Here we go again. Stay put. Don't move a muscle. Don't get sucked into any ghost dimensions or stuck in a mind collapse. Do you hear me? I'll be right there. Your cousin hangs up the phone. You make your way to the door that beckoned you yesterday. All intrigued now, washed away. You know where it leads, and you know what secrets the stone that lurked in the forgotten basement of the clinic had to share with you. Now the clinic holds a new horror. Somewhere beyond the narrow hallway leading from the house proper into the doctor's office, there is a monster, preparing to do something unthinkable. You grasp the handle and turn. Duck! Duck! You do as she says, ducking out of the way. She shoots. The gun isn't very loud. There's only a pop as the projectile leaves the barrel, whizzing through the air. With the strength feature, you get to like roll out of the way. You turn to see a dart embedded in Reese's chest. He pulls the tranquilizer dart from between his ribs, heaving heavily breaths as the drug courses through his system. You're gonna have to try a lot harder than that, you... No. How did you... As if you could hope to stop me, you pathetic waste of flesh. Before Wayne takes another step down the stairs, paint flows out between cracks in the wood, Reese's panic pulling in a mob of furious schmears to hold his enemies in place. The artist darts away, but the schmears continue their work in his absence. Dr. Kelly makes her escape down the hall, and Wayne is overcome, glued in place at the top of the stairs by stiffening globs of paint. Did I run to a nearby room? You rush out of the main entryway, taking cover in the first room you see. After a few seconds pass, things are quiet. Hey! Dr. Kelly's voice crackles out of some unseen speaker. You! Bacon! I'm stuck in the safe room. I can't help you from there, but you can help both of us. You survived. What's going on? I think you can probably put that together. Now, listen to me. You're in the medical storage room, right? I need you to use the black taped key to get into the cabinet and bring me the elephant tranquilizers. It's a bottle labeled carfentanil Fentanyl. Bear tranquilizers clearly aren't gonna cut it anymore. An intercom system. Hundock. Good. You should hear this. Bacon, you don't have to do anything, she says. I'm not gonna hurt anyone. Just her. If I don't, you and I both know she's just gonna shoot me full of elephant tranquilizers? Did I hear that right? And shove me back down in that basement or someplace even worse and keep killing me every day for the rest of my miserable existence. Feel amazing right now. Better than I've ever felt in my life. I'm not dangerous. She's just scared because she knows she has to finally pay for what she's taken from me.
Wayne! Help me!
He's a little tied up at the moment. Is he? Not anymore. Reese cries out in pain. What the hell? What did you do to my shoulder? You see, for the briefest instant, something is coming out of Wayne's sleep. Like vines or something. What is that? Wonder if it's like a fungal thing and he has like a fungal infection. Just a flash of pale yellow, then it's gone, slithering back into Wayne's clothes. I'll handle it. Try to get somewhere safe until then. The two stagger off down the hallway. Quick! Grab the tranks and head to the safe room. You do as she says. The tranquilizers are easy to find, marked with a small square of black tape to match the key. She's certainly an organized woman. You make your way out of the medical storage room and back to the hallway where Dr. Kelly disappeared. As you approach, Dr. Kelly heaves open the door, slowly breaking apart the massive painting, sealing it shut. Hurry, I don't think I can keep it open for long. You slip past her into the safe room. She shuts the door quickly, though one of the little smears manages to slip past her. She stomps on it. Painted viscera splatters across the cement floor. Sounds like Reese and your friends are still fighting. We probably have a few minutes before he gets here. Let's talk, Reese. Yeah, I bet you have some questions. Go ahead. I have nothing left to hide. How did he not know what he was? I've been medicating him since he was 12. We've only had 3 incidents like this before. Maybe 4, depending on what counts. This is the worst one by far. He doesn't seem to understand at first that he looks different, and I just make sure to stay on top of his dosages so he rarely ever does. But I've been preparing for this inevitability. He's an adult now. There's only so much I can do to control him. Why did you start poisoning him? Dr. Kelly sighs. Can we stop calling it poison? Yes, it's poison. But the act of me giving him poison was not me poisoning him. I was medicating his illness. It started when he was around 15. I'd been giving him increasingly high dosage of clonopin, but his body kept adapting with his symptoms. But his body kept adapting and his symptoms would come back, especially if we ever fought. I couldn't keep ordering all those drugs. It was already suspicious and I could risk losing my license. Especially if anyone ever found out what I was using them for. Someone approached me with a solution. I took it. So it's a plant that I'm sure is around Scarlet Hollow. And we know someone who knows about all the flora in Scarlet Hollow. Sybil knew about this, I bet you. And I've been dealing with the emotional and mental consequences of that decision ever since. When did you find out? A little after he hit puberty. He had all the usual changes, then a few extras. Thickened nail, sharp teeth, elvish ears. I figured he might have some kind of genetic disorder. Had him checked out at a few specialists, but there wasn't nothing obviously wrong with him. Then we had an argument, and he changed. right in front of me. It was like nothing what he is now. Just a couple of inches and some facial abnormalities. Enough to be noticeable. I was scared he could see that and he stopped. I thought it was a one-off or maybe a hallucination. But the second time, it wasn't as subtle, and it didn't go away as easy. That's when I knew for sure that this was something beyond my realm of expertise. Who approached you and what did they say? Dr. Kelly gives you a long, hard look. I don't want to talk about that woman. It's Sybil. But screw it, I might die tonight, Shaw. So yeah, I'll tell ya. It was... That's all I have to say about that? I wonder if... What if I didn't take that tea? What if I didn't take that tea? Would I be able to hear what she said? Was his dad similar? A strange little smile creeps onto Dr. Kelly's face. I wish I knew. Reese just kinda happened. I wasn't seeing anyone. I just woke up pregnant one day. I know how impossible that sounds. I'm a doctor, for Christ's sakes. I kept having these weird dreams, almost like sleep paralysis episodes. Romantic sleep paralysis episodes. They were actually kind of sweet, but they were just dreams. Clearly, they were not dreams. But then, all of a sudden, my period stopped, I got morning sickness, and roughly 9 months later, Reese. What is he? At first, I thought he was some kind of werewolf. But if he is, he doesn't follow any kind of full moon rules or anything. Silver doesn't do shit to him, and you've seen what he looks like. It's just weird. I almost wish I could examine him while he's fully transformed. I'd be fascinated to know what happens to him or how his body does it. But he seems pretty hellbent on ripping my throat out, so I guess that'll just have to remain a mystery. The relationship between you seems so difficult, wow. Yeah, you could say that. He was such a cute kid. When I found out I was pregnant, I was terrified. I didn't know if I'd be ready, but he made me love being a mom. It's not like it was going to be sunshine and roses forever. No matter what, kids grow up and they change, sometimes for the worst. This is part of being a mom too, doing what you can to make sure the child you brought into the world isn't going to go around eating people. How do you know he's dangerous? Well, he wants to murder me, so that's clue number 1. Not like he's usually a violent kid, he's really just sad. But every now and then, we butt heads and that's usually when this side of him comes out. Imagine if this happens anytime he gets frustrated with anyone. Imagine he gets road rage one day, turns into a 12-foot tall monster with a million teeth and rips someone apart in the middle of a major metropolitan area. Yeah, he's dangerous. I can fix him! No, we can't. He's been so kind to me. Yeah, and Ted Bundy was kind to people he picked off the side of the road, then he slaughtered them. He's a really sweet kid most of the time, but I can't let that overshadow the violence he's capable of. What's the game plan? Both short and long term. Well, I pump him full of elephant tranquilizers, then I lock him in here, then I somehow convince him to see things from my perspective. Then we'll live happily ever after. And if you can't? Doesn't really change much. Whether he's a willing captive or an unwilling captive, it doesn't matter. He's either under my constant supervision or he's dead. That's just how it has to go. While we're at it, any other secrets you're keeping? You have it all. You have no idea how relieved I am to finally say all this shit out loud. What about this room? An old x-ray room. Lead walls. After I realized this whole situation was a possibility, I had the door reinforced with special remote-controlled locks. Glad it finally came handy. You and Dr. Kelly sit in silence and wait for her son to make his way to you. Sound of distant breaking glass cuts through the silence of the clinic outside of the safe room. Shit, this might be game time. Dr. Kelly opens the door. The two of you stare out into the hall. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I don't even know what you would call Reese. Is this what you're so afraid of? Hand over the tranquilizers. This is our shot. Before Dr. Kelly can fire, a different shot rings out. Reese's body is thrown to the wall. Shotgun in hand, your cousin rounds the corner and trains her weapon on his withering body. Tabitha, what are you doing here? Stop it! Let me sedate him. We can deal with this non-lethally. You insane? Right. Are you insane? That thing was trying to kill you. You leap forward, placing your body between Tabitha and the whimpering Reese, his face already trying to stitch itself back together as he writhes on the floor. Bacon, what the hell do you think you're doing? Don't kill him. He's still a person. Person, my ass. Did you see his face? Yeah, he's a little ugly. It's fine. Both of you shut up and help me drag him into the safe room, now. So regardless, I got the same ending as I did in my first run through. I thought it'd be a little different, but I got the same ending. That's fine. You turn to see Dr. Kelly already pulling her son towards the open doorway. Tabitha swings the gun onto her back, huffily jumping in to help Dr. Kelly. Not long before his regenerating body is sealed away behind the door. Not exactly how I thought that would play out, but at least none of us are dead. If you've done any permanent damage to him, you're going to be the one paying for the medical supplies, Miss Scarlet. You aren't seriously going to keep that thing alive, are you? It's clearly dangerous. What makes you think you can keep it locked up? It's my son, Miss Scarlet, and despite appearances, he is still human. I prefer you refer to him as such. And I've managed to keep him safely locked away and harmless for years. Sure, it'll be a little more difficult now that he knows about his condition, but that room is lined with lead. He's not going anywhere. Human? Are you sure about that? Are we talking about the same guy? Trust me, I've done genetic tests. He is human. Somehow. And it's my job as his mother to protect him and to protect people from him. It's not a burden I take lightly. You don't have to worry about him getting out anytime soon. He's a monster, but even monsters deserve a chance at life, Tabitha. Don't give me that line. He was about to eat both of you if I didn't show up. I don't care what your ethics are. I care about my cousin not being digested by some 12-foot freak with a million teeth. You don't have to defend him, Bacon. I have a lot of cleaning to do, and I don't feel like entertaining a couple of bickering cousins while I do it. I'd prefer if you both could just forget about what you saw and move on with your lives. My son is my business. You and your cousin leave the clinic, Dr. Kelly slamming the shotgun blasted door behind you. The two of you make your way to the bottom of the hill where Tabitha's car is parked, among the sleepy houses of Scarlet Hollow's residential street. She places her gun in the trunk and turns to face you. You're alone right now. Is Stella still missing? I tried calling her a couple of times, but I kept getting her stupid voicemail. Yeah. Let me think. It's a long shot, but there's a place that might be worth checking out. We're gonna take a hike. Interesting that it's gonna be Tabitha that brings us here. After a bit of a trek, you and Tabitha stop by the edge of a 2-lane road near town limits. They're sitting on a log, staring mournfully out at the asphalt is Stella. You watch her from the underbrush. She's alive. Thank God. She sounds more exasperated than relieved. How'd you know she'd be here? It's where her parents died. She ran off after we saw a ghost last night. It just made sense that she'd be here. You should talk to her, Tabitha. She'd be glad to see you. I don't know, we've got baggage. I'll just make things worse. No. Yeah! In my other run through, because I romanced Stella, Tabitha was like, nope, I'm not dealing with this. Fuck off. And she walked away. But I was also a bitch to Tabitha too, so. No. You're right. I'm gonna actually stand up. No, you're right. She's been practically begging for us to get closer than we are. It's time I stop letting my dead mother dictate who I'm allowed to talk. But I'm not talking to her alone. We're doing this together. The two of you join Stella perching on the old log on either side of her. Oh, this is interesting. I thought I was just gonna walk away. Okay. God, Tabby. That ghost really did a number on you. I'm so sorry. You had Bacon worried all day, you know? Went all over town looking for you. And it looks like you got into some trouble, too. Bacon, you're all covered in blood.
No, it's not blood. It's paint.
I think a lot of it's paint. Yeah, Tabitha and I are on the same mind length.
Paint? What?
This is where your parents died, right? I guess it would make sense that we get this cutscene, so I guess we had... Did model just do that model? Yeah, that truck really took that corner pretty hard. Just... like, no wonder she doesn't like being in cars. That's just... oh. You've been sitting here all day?
Yeah. Just waiting.
Silence falls over the three of you, the wind rustling in the leaves and the sound of night insects carry around you, mute in the still night. Music's so good. It was loud and now it's quiet.
Nothing happened though. That's probably for the best.
Abby, did I do something wrong after the accident? Huh?
There's whole years of my life that I feel like they never happen. Like, every time I try and remember them, it's blank. I have all of these videos sitting on my channel that I don't even remember filming. It's scary. Did I do something to push you away?
Oh shit, I need to go. You guys need to have your moment. No. All you wanted to do was talk to me, but Orlan wouldn't let me near you.
Oh.
Tabitha sighs. It's not true. I was an adult when the accident happened. It doesn't matter what Perlan wanted. I needed to stop hiding under my mother's coat every time I made a bad decision. I pushed you away, Stella. I shouldn't have done. Sorry.
Abby. Missed you.
Too. I'm gonna remain silent. This is for them. I'm just gonna be that awkward cousin just sitting there like, hey, I'm just tagging along. You remain silent. Mend a broken relationship! That is the achievement we got. The three of you stare out into the quiet night.
I think the accident is probably why I got into ghost hunting. I think I just wanted to see them again. I wanted to know whether I even could. I never found anything. I eventually gave up. Then last night happened. And I ran out here to see if maybe it could happen with them too. Even if it meant seeing that crash. Or seeing them all messed up dead. I just wanted to see them. It's been a whole day. I don't think they're coming.
Do you want to say goodbye? Stella sits in silence for a long moment, her breath slow and easy. Slow and even, Jesus.
Goodbye. I love you. Don't worry about me. I'm gonna be fine.
She's silent again, as if waiting for a response. No response comes. But she smiles, a lively glimmer returning to her sad eyes.
That kind of felt better. I don't think I realized how much I kind of trapped myself in my own head. Thank you for breaking me out of it. Oh.
Stella straightens up, stretching her back. Gretchen wags her tail, tags jingling in the quiet night air.
I know that stretch. That's the time to go home stretch. Thank the Lord. I'll be sleeping in my own bed tonight.
Thank you for talking some sense into this girl. We should probably head back, right? I haven't slept in a day. She doesn't need to hear about that. You keep the events that transpired at the clinic to yourself, at least for now. The three of you and Gretchen make your way back through the woods before arriving at Stella's house.
This is me. Thanks again, you two.
Come on, Bacon. I think there's a carton of ice cream with Scarlet name on it.
Abby, wait. Before you go. Stella wraps your cousin in a tight hug. Ah! Don't be a stranger, okay?
Again. I promise. And then I'm just awkwardly staying over here like... Eh? You and Tabitha quietly return to the estate and make your way to the kitchen, where she pulls out 2 pints of banana chocolate chunk. She puts one on the table and wordlessly thrusts the other one into your hands. I'm sure there's a lot you want to talk about, but we're both here. We're both safe. And we've had a long week. Let's just exist together. Unwind with your family after a long day. Oh, we're getting so many achievements. The two of you stand in the kitchen quietly eating banana-flavored ice cream while Frou-Frou purrs gently in her sleep nearby, an oasis of calm. But as Tabitha's spoon... Why is the music scary? But as Tabitha's spoon scrapes the bottom of her empty pint, the moment ends. Right. Off to bed. You should try and get some sleep. Here's hoping tomorrow.
The Frou-Frou!
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm enjoying this run through so much more. Your cousin leaves for her room, your body breaking down from the stress of the day's event. There's nothing left for you to do but head to bed. Is there? I want to pet Frou-Frou. Exhausted beyond belief, you stumble into your room and collapse onto the bed. As your eyes sink, you realize that something smells off about the room. It smells rotten. Mother effer, are you just hiding behind doors? What if this wasn't even my room? What if he's just standing behind a door that's not even the room I'm in, and he's like, oh, he should be coming any minute now, and it's like, not my room, Wayne. But also, hello, you're in my bedroom. This is awkward. You jolt awake as the door creaks. Don't look so frightened. There's a man in my bedroom, and I did not invite them in here. I mean, technically I am romancing you, but still? I was just going to say goodnight and to give you a word of advice. Tabitha won't be around tomorrow. Too busy at the mines. Forbidden places won't be forbidden without her. There to stop you, and you might be surprised at what you find. Until then, sleep well. Wait! I haven't been able to flirt with you. It's been 4 episodes, please. Wayne pauses at the door. Yes? Where? Girl! Oh! Ooh, ooh, what? I'm interested in you, Wayne. I want you. Thanks for tucking me in. I missed you today. Wish you'd drop in sooner. You just can't stay away, can you? You must really like me. I guess we're gonna be a little bold, you guys. I probably should have saved before this, but I don't care. I'm interested in you and Wayne. I want you. What do you mean? I know I've already won your heart. What do you mean? This is like our first time really talking, Wayne. What do you mean? Yeah, I know. I don't like that attitude, Wayne. What is this? I know I've already won your heart. The bond we could share, Bacon. It would be deeper than any bond you could form with anyone else. Okay. Can I flirt with you again? Okay, well, I can't. We gotta be nice to him. Thanks for looking out for me tonight. Anytime you find yourself in danger, I'll be there for you. I will always be there for you. Did you know Reese was like that? I knew he was different. How exactly? I wasn't sure, but now I know. I thought you wanted me to stay at the estate. Aren't you gonna lecture me? You were free to make your own decisions, and those decisions have been made. I know something pulls at you, and I know that now you cannot stop in your task until your task is finished. I'll keep you safe while you do what you must. I'm glad you're okay. I was worried Reese might have. Wayne emits a strange kind of coughing sound. You realize he's laughing? He managed to catch me off guard. Those constructs of his were an interesting little trick, but that's all they were. I found my family's death records today. Things aren't adding up. Good. You're starting to see the holes then. Yeah, I am. Now how do you know the holes? Look for more. Why are you following me around? Why not Stella or Kanika or Sybil? Why not Tabitha? Because you're special. But why? Why am I so special? Simply are. Do you not feel the ties that binds us? They're unbreakable. Who are you, Wayne? Because you might have Wayne's body, but that soul is not Wayne. I don't know who you are. Okay, good talk. I'm gonna go to sleep. Don't kill my possums or anything. Good night, Bacon. Wayne leaves your room and closes the door behind him. The damp smell of the mattress is starting to become almost welcoming, a sign that the now daily horrors of Scarlet Hollow are finally behind you. At least until the sun inevitably rises once again. You close your eyes, your exhausted body succumbing to sleep almost immediately. As you drift off, you think of Reese, trapped in that tiny windowless room, all his greatest fears realized. His body is no longer his own. But you stopped him from killing Dr. Kelly. The world, at least for now, is protected from him. And then you think of nothing. Benoit Blanc! That was, the achievement I got for, having keen eye for episode 4. Mura Madoka with Mystical. Why won't they just do their jobs? That's the police station one. Rodriguez the Rat, library card. Dustin Quest. Yeah, we got a lot of these are pretty tiny. Like Ice Cream Social, that's when you have ice cream with Tabitha. 14.8% of people got that achievement. And then a lot of the hardcore stuff, like finishing episode 4 in hardcore mode, only 9% of people got that achievement. So I guess a lot of people aren't doing hardcore mode. Or maybe they're doing it on Itch.io, because I think they have the game on Itch.io too. But yeah, these are... The numbers are very small now. Let's... Kinda wanna... We'll just do this. It's fine. It's fine! But yeah, we did it! Episode 4, done. And then episode 5 will probably not come until next year. But that's okay. I'm very curious about everything that's happening. When chapter 5 comes out, I think I need to print out a family tree, or like write down the family tree and write notes. Just so I can keep things clear, because I'm pretty sure I messed up some things. But I think before chapter 5 I'll do that. So then I can have my notes and be like, okay, this. And then we'll go from there. But yeah, that was fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see you not in episode 5 of Scarlet Hollow. We'll probably start a new game for Friday. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.